Greetings, my good people. What is happening? What is going on? What is the latest and greatest? I hope everybody's having a tremendous day, a tremendous start to their month. It is a new month, as we know, already the third month of the year. Where's the time going? But with that being said, I appreciate you who have already stopped in, the four of you, and I'm sure throughout the course of, who knows, 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm going to go for as long as I possibly can, because today obviously is a very special day. Here it is. Today's live stream, March 1st, 2026, and it's obviously a very special one, which I'll unpack over the next, 10, 15 minutes or so. And this is going to be a little bit of a different type of live stream. Now, that's not to say we're going to go off the beaten path and talk about, crazy things, go off the rails, anything like that. But to me, I'm doing this for several reasons, but the main is for all of us to get together and just celebrate. But more, forget about me, celebrating you guys. Because as I've said time after time, without you guys, there isn't a channel, there isn't a live stream. And yes, I could still have a podcast live stream, but if nobody shows up, I would still do it. But because you guys and gals have shown up, this is where I thank you. I congratulate you. I am tremendously indebted to you. And yes, there's going to be a lot of bouquets thrown about. But yes, as you see there, March 1st, 2026. And we know the deal when it comes to what we do here on a week in, week out basis. And to think, for starters, the 8th anniversary of the podcast. It's crazy to think it's been 8 years. And I remember sitting in my in-laws' attic upstairs a year ago today, where I had done the 7th anniversary. And it's crazy to think that even then I wanted to do it somewhere live. Well, not live. Of course, I'm live now, duh. But I wanted to do it somewhere at a remote location. And it's interesting because even dating back to November, and I know I've talked about it, where I had a couple places in mind. One in particular, because not to say I'm buddy or know the owners of this particular place, but I figured that, hey, they could get me in there, whatever. And sadly, it was a situation where I would have a corner and everything set up. But again, the people of the establishment, they're not going to lower the music, or when they have games on and the Knicks are actually going to play today against San Antonio, where they're going to have the broadcast over the loudspeaker, over the system. And therefore, it'd be a scenario where I'd have to worry about being copyrighted or being shut down, because I don't want to be 10 minutes into a stream and you hear, I believe Mike Breen's doing the call in the game, or maybe he did the game last night in Golden State. But yeah, I didn't want any of that. So luckily for me, unlike last year, I had to go to my in-laws because I didn't want to sit for 5 hours. For those who recall, when I did my live stream, I did it straight through. And I didn't want to bother the wife here at the sports desk, but she is away for the weekend. So it's just Kismet and I, who is somewhere over there. And therefore, I have the luxury, I have the overall wherewithal to just go ahead and kick back in the friendly confines of my own apartment and host this live stream. So, and it's crazy because I was thinking about last year, I want to do this somewhere where people could come and congregate, meet people for the first time, especially those who are in the New York area. And here it is, 365 days later. Where does the time go? I tell you. But anyway, of course, I'm going to get to all the comments. I'll do that momentarily, but I want to start off here with the 8th anniversary. And who would have thought that it's been 8 years, number one. And I'll tell you this. When I first started this journey, and the first one I did was just an introductory podcast. It's talking about me, a little bit about my background. It was just an overview of why I was doing the podcast, as well as what the future would be for the podcast. And I got news for you. I'm not going to sit here, and this isn't by any means trying to puff my chest out but when I started this thing, I'm not going to sit here to think like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 8 years and I'm still doing this, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe it's 8 years that it's gone by that fast. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, I can't believe I'm still doing this. No, because even when I started doing this 8 years ago, I had set out to go as long as I possibly can. And mind you, from 2018 to 2024, I was working a 9 to 5. Now, mind you, in those first 4 years, up until April 7th, 2022, those first 4 years, I was doing it weekly. I released a podcast every Monday. And funny enough, when I first started it, if I can recall, I got to go back in the calendar and check. When I put out the very first podcast, I believe it was a Sunday. Again, I have to go back and check that. Maybe if I open up my calendar, I'll do that in a minute. And it was bizarre because I was trying to find my footing. I was trying to say, oh, what days I'm going to release this? And then I released another one just a few days after that. I was talking about who else? James Harden, who I always seem to kill, and even Chris Paul for that matter, when they were both on the Rockets. And then as I started to get some momentum, and there were times where, I would do a Monday, then I'd do a Thursday, then I have guests on early on. I had a lot of different guests. And it was a thing where, all right, I don't want to be all over the map. I got to pick a day. And I figured Monday was the best day because it was after the weekend. Usually a lot of the sports stuff that takes place over the weekend, you want to start off the week the right way. And that's what I did. Until 2022, when I started doing twice a week, I did Monday and Thursday. And like I said, I was doing this while working. And a lot of those podcasts that I recorded, especially in those first 6 years, were in my former employer's office. I did it. It was in conference rooms. I was in my office. I did it wherever I could. And times in the middle of the day while work is going on, I didn't care. And I can say that now, of course. Boy, back then I had to be on the hush because just in case somebody's watching, whatever. But yeah, you do what it takes to try to get the podcast up or out, etc. And then, of course, COVID hit 2020, where I was doing the podcast from home. And it was funny, I was just doing it once a week. I did have guests throughout 2020, and I posted it on Thursday. And my goal was to have a podcast Monday and then a guest on Thursday to do twice a week. But then I thought in 2022, and this is when I was actually going back into the office out of COVID, to where I was now doing the podcast at home on Mondays and then doing the Thursday podcast in the office. And it was tricky because that's why I was bouncing around. But then luckily for me, I was able to get a spot where I was sitting in an open area, and it happened to be an office within the office. And that's where I recorded my podcast. Now, mind you, this is before I posted this onto my YouTube channel, because the first 6 years was predominantly audio. So you can only hear the podcast through Apple or Spotify or any other podcast platform. And it was a thing where it was wild because I've always thought about doing a video podcast, but I said, oh my God, the editing and so on and so forth. And then I got news for you. When I recorded the podcast, just the audio, I would screw up so many times. I would have to go back and edit. I have to listen to the whole thing. And it was, obviously it was a challenge, because here I am. At home was one thing. And even though I was working from home, I had to check my laptop, my work laptop, whatever. But when I was in the office, I had to go into the office by like 7:30, 7:45, record the podcast. So then by 9 o'clock, I could find a way to start editing. And the great thing, shout out to my ex-boss, John Beaumont, he didn't care. He's like, hey, when stuff comes up, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're going to, just be discreet, handle it at your desk, and that's it. And I had my own personal laptop to do it. So it's a thing where, I was able to plug away. And then, of course, 2024 came. And prior to that, I made the decision to say sayonara to corporate America, because I wanted to pursue this full time. And now, over the last 2 years plus, I've been posting the podcast on the channel, of course, on Apple and Spotify. And then over the last month, since we're really now 3 weeks, because the Super Bowl was 3 weeks ago today. Now I've been doing my podcast live. And the great thing about doing the podcast from a video standpoint, prior to doing it live, was that I seldom had to edit. my stream of consciousness, whatever I had outlined that I wanted to talk about, I would talk about. And the next thing you know, it's like I didn't have to edit. But for whatever the reason, when I was doing the audio, I'm flubbing left and right. I'm screwing up. I'm like, oh, geez, have to pause, regroup, etc. And of course, when I had to listen to that whole thing after recording it, it just makes for more work. Where doing it prior to the live podcast a few weeks ago, yeah, everything is just run through. Now, if Kismet were to bark or there was some sort of interruption, I'd have to, of course, stop and then edit that out of the video as well as the audio too. But the great thing was I didn't have to go back and edit like I did when I was just strictly doing audio. So this is the whole evolution of this podcast leading up to today. And now that I've elevated it to it being a live podcast, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to do it in that regard. There is a little bit more work involved, which is fine, but I'm doing this as a trial run. It's actually been wildly successful. I've had a lot of views. And when I say a lot of views, I'm not saying I had thousands. I mean, hey, God willing, one day, right? But I've had enough views to where it was more than what it would be than if I would just record it and then post it. Because in the beginning, I would get a handful of views, 10 views, 12. Then it increased. I got into the 20s, even into the 30s. And then when I started, especially over the last couple of months, when I started getting more subscribers and I finally got past 1,000, I noticed that went up too. Because remember, back in October, November, I told you guys that I had this separate channel on YouTube that I was going to use the JAYREELZ podcast as opposed to just JAYREELZ and start posting my podcasts on there. Because I just looked at it like, well, the algorithm's not hitting when it comes to my podcasts. And for whatever the reason, once I started gaining more traction with subscribers from November, December, and January, then it increased. It went from 10, 15, 20, 25 views to like 60, 70 views. And I said, wow, look at that. Now, I don't know if it was the subscribers wanted to listen to what it is I have to say, and I'm not saying that they were watching from start to finish. And I know some of you guys and gals, whether you're in the room right now, and I'm going to get to your comments, I promise, whether or not that they've been watching from start to finish. And I know the select few that do, and I'll shout you out later on. But yeah, I just thought to myself, I said, well, you know what? I haven't pivoted to the other channel because I like what I see. And I said to myself, you know what? After the Super Bowl, I'm going to put forth a live podcast. So a little bit different because obviously it's not like when I do my regular live streams, I go through the comments and we start talking, whatever. But yeah, and I noticed that increased big time as well, where I've gotten over 100, 150, even 200. The Super Bowl, that one got almost 1,000 views. And I understand it's the day after the Super Bowl, and I guess people were curious, whatever. And it was a shock. And I said, no, I got to continue to do a live podcast. Now, again, it's indefinite. This wasn't a thing where even when I announced it, it wasn't like, all right, moving forward, this is what we're going to do. But let's be honest. The old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to ride this out for as long as possible. But I've also been making some pivots, which I'm going to get to. It has to do with the live stream and the channel. And I understand it's a little bit separate from the podcast because obviously everybody's here to celebrate that. But the live stream is also imperative too. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. Where's my mouse here? Oh, here it is, because I actually connected the other screen just in case if I want to show stuff. But anyway, as far as the podcast goes, 646 episodes and counting. And that includes all the guests over the years. That includes, obviously, the people who've listened, subscribed, everything. I thank all of you. I thank all those former guests that I've had. And I understand people can say, well, hey, but that was years ago, whatever. But hey, they're a part of it. And they'll always be a part of it. Whether it's the former athlete, the studio host, the blogger, the talk show host, no matter who it may be, I am truly blessed that the people who have been on with me have been on this journey, and I'm going to continue to do so as long as I'm alive and breathing, as you all know. And then here we go. Ready for this? I told you I was going to have something special to drink today. I know not alcohol. I wasn't going to do that. But I figured that, you know what? I haven't eaten. I started sipping this a little while ago because I don't have to take 100 bathroom trips. But here you go. This big giant thing, which is almost a quart. Cheers. If I told you what the ingredients are in this, it'll probably be 20 minutes. There's a ton. It's green. I put some kale in it, but I have a ton of fruit, flax seeds, chia seeds, dates. Everything's in there. So to your health, guys, and to you for supporting me, for sticking by me, for just all the kind words, all the encouragement, everything. And I'm probably going to say this 1,000 times over from now until I sign off. But again, this is to you guys. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And let's go for another 88 years after this with the podcast, with the channel, with the live stream, etc. So cheers. And I'll get to the comments after this. And of course, I'll touch on a few other things. Like I said, I'll be on for as long as I possibly can. But but I don't want it to get stale. I'm not just going to be on just to be on. Here we are, like hour 4, and I'm like, all right, what do I talk about now? When I start to feel like things are starting to just slowly but surely dissipate, then I will pivot from there. Yes, Fishing Angel. Greetings. Thank you. Absolutely. Bio, my man. I believe you were here last year at this time too, so much props to you. Much appreciated. J-Rod, of course. Salute. Thank you. As always. 8 years, Fishing Angel. I know, it's crazy. And like I said, I never thought, oh, Bianca from Brazil. Wow. Bianca, welcome. I hope you're still with us here. I know it's been a few minutes since I've been babbling along, but thank you so much. I love to have people from all parts of the globe. Shout out to Vladislav out in Serbia. Shout out to Marjana, his mom. I hope she's doing well. Shout out to Bastien in Hong Kong. Shout out to, of course, Brent north of the border in Ontario. If he's not on, I'll go through all the comments. Shout out to, let me see. I know some people from India, some people from Antarctica that have chimed in. Of course, here in the States, I mean, please, goes without saying how I'm beyond grateful. And of course, Val B, yes, thank you. J-Rod showing love to everybody, and this is what I love. These are my diehards right here, on my Reels rockers. Yes, Bianca. Bianca, I'm from New York City. Have you ever been? And what part of Brazil? I got to get there one day. Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo. We shall see. Yeah, Val, I'm good. Sharks won yesterday. And I watched some of that game yesterday because that was McDavid versus, I would say McDavid versus Celebrini, but yeah, I just watched the first period and change of the game in San Jose. Big win for them. So let's see. I know the Wings did lose yesterday. That was, as a matter of fact, who did they play yesterday? They didn't have the afternoon game. It was Rangers, Penguins, Boston, Philly. I know. Who did they play last night? Let's check it out right now. NHL. And I believe you have, what do you have today in the afternoon schedule? Oh, Vegas is playing Pittsburgh now. Yeah, because I know they have the NBA where the Knicks are playing the Spurs. A rematch of the NBA Cup. Haha, very funny. The Wings played. Why is this taking forever to load? Oh, Carolina. Yeah. In Carolina, 5-2. And listen, Carolina obviously is the top team in the Metropolitan Division on the road. So, of course, I didn't watch the game last night. Thank you, Val. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, Bianca, where are you from? We're curious. I know J-Rod. Hey, we don't know. Michigan, shout out to you guys and to the Wolverines. I know tough loss there with LJ Kaysen. So, hey, good to see that. I'm always happy, JAYREELZ. I'm happy that you're happy. And Bianca, I don't know Michigan. Yes, we do. Well, we know Brazil through Carnival. We know Brazil through certain movies. What did I see recently that was in Brazil? I saw something. Oh, I saw the movie The Secret Agent. which is nominated for Academy Awards, which is 2 weeks from tonight for those who care. Not that I'm going to talk movies right now, but I remember I was like, when I saw Brazil, I said, wait a second, I just saw something recently about Brazil. Pretty good movie, by the way. But oh, thank you, Val. I appreciate that. Oh, look at that. That's where the movie was filmed in, right? Bianca? You pronounce that Recife, I guess, right? The movie was actually shot there. Yeah, check it out. It's called The Secret Agent. For those who are into movies. I guess you could stream it now. So, yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. So Bianca, yes, welcome. Hopefully this will not be your last time. You know, I got day ones here, and if this is your first day, obviously more than welcome. Yes, Northeast United States. It does look like a hand. That's funny. Yes. Have you been to the States, Bianca? I know you got a picture. What's that, of your cat? Yeah, it's very nice. I like that. Yeah, I got to get to Brazil, man. I'm dying to go there one day. I know. As I'm getting up there in my age. Didn't watch the whole Warriors game. Went to dinner, watch Goat. Yes. Listen, obviously you didn't miss much on that game last night, Val. That was a rough go. Do you know how? Internet? No. Brazil, listen, we know Carnival's in Brazil. We know, obviously, Brazil has, soccer and the Christ the Redeemer, Ipanema Beach. Nah, this is, listen, I'm an old man, so it's not like, you just plopped me down here on Earth 5 seconds ago, and it's like, oh, what are these places? No, I want to visit your country, and I hope to visit your country soon. So, Giants lost yesterday. Do I know some words in Portuguese? I do not. I know, and I need to my language. I need to enhance my languages. Starting off with Spanish first, as we all know. So, Fourth Line Voice. If you don't know about Fourth Line Voice, hop on them right now. Fourth Line, great to see you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you're into hockey fights, like I am, yours truly, go right there. And yesterday you had I want to say old school because you just think of heavyweights, where Nick Delorier fought Tanner Janot, and that was like an old school fight. And boy, I miss those days of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I tell you. But again, I don't want to sound like an old man, even though I am. But yeah, that was a good fight there yesterday between those guys. And of course, they were talking prior to in warm-ups right there at the red line. So yeah, that just brought back great memories when you see that. Oi, it means hi, huh? Oi. Don't they say that in other languages too, right? Well, oi to you, Bianca. Thank you. Not interested in Portuguese lesson. What? Wait, hang on. Easier than English. I don't know. Please. English language is kind of weird too when you think about it, but it's all good, Bianca. Don't worry about it. It's all love here. It's all. But you know what's so funny, Fishing Angel? It's weird because when you think about certain words, and not to unpack this, but just to kind of I'll put this to rest here. When you look at the English language and you think about certain words, and from somebody who's not familiar with the language, they're going to look at it like, wait a second, like how is this? Why is this pronounced this way, and that's pronounced another way? So I got to think of an example. Obviously, I wasn't prepared for this, and it's not the tomato thing, but there are some words where you could pronounce and okay, fine, but then when you, like, for instance, something's coming to me. Oh, like here's a great example. So when you look at the word daughter, Daughter, and you think, all right, yeah, daughter. Yeah, no problem. But then when you look at the word Laugher, it's laughter. But you're thinking, wait, isn't it laughter? And then when you think about the word slaughter, so slaughter, daughter, but then it's laughter? Why isn't it laughter? It's case in point. So I'll just leave it at that. So even though, right, English is, it's easy for us because we know it, but for somebody outside, They're like, I don't know, which I can understand. But at the same time, the English language is kind of weird in that regard because there's certain words where you think it's good. Oh, it's pronounced this way, but it's not pronounced. It's like I said, daughter, laughter. So, all right, let's see. The hands are too cold. Yeah, in fact, the weather here in New York, which yesterday was like 50 degrees, it was beautiful. And a lot of the snow from last Monday, I mean, think about it. The snow started Sunday. We got 20 inches. And by Monday afternoon, forget it. 20 inches of snow in 1 week, or really less than that. I'm not going to say it's almost gone, but I would say about 60 to 70% of the snow has melted away. Where the storm that we got in January on the day of Conference Championship Sunday, that sucker melted or was almost gone 2 days before the storm that we got hit just last Sunday. So it took almost a month for all that snow to melt because it was just cold. We didn't have any precipitation. We didn't have those 40-degree days or those rainy days. And here it is, thank God, because, I've had enough. And now that we're into March, we're now, think about it, this time next week, which is the earliest you could possibly have it, daylight savings is back because it's usually the second Sunday. So next year, it's not going to be till the 14th, which that sucks because it's, we got robbed 6 days. Where now, the 8th, we'll rejoice. It'll get dark around 7 o'clock. And from here till, I'll go September, because I know at late September, it probably starts getting dark around 7. Or start getting dark below 7 o'clock. But to me, oh, man, I love those long days. And we're a week away. So I'm ecstatic. Yeah, I know. That was a tough break there. No pun intended, Jay. And you got to wonder whether or not Michigan, and I know we touched on this a little bit earlier today, where, yeah, obviously guys are going to have to step up. And, you got to wonder about the minutes being logged by some of these guys, because I'm sure they're going to extend some of these guys' minutes to play longer and, to pick up that slack from the loss of Kaysen. And then, she's up. That's Kismet over there. She knows how to get attention right now. She's probably just going to lay behind me, I hope. Anyway, so we will, and in fact, Bio, yeah, she just laid over there. Because I know you requested, not requested, but I showed you a picture of her the other day. Reed, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, because we're celebrating here. It's the 8th anniversary of the podcast. And really, in essence, it's a little bit more, but it's also 1 year of me doing live streams on a weekly basis. So, yeah, and Bio, yeah, I'm agreeing. I think they'll be fine. But, yeah, come tournament time, that could be, it will be significant. Oh, the Kings did that? Really? Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I know. They got pummeled by, whatchamacallit, Edmonton the other night. Oh, as a matter of fact, didn't Val just, I must have skipped that. Val, my apologies, because I know you always posting stuff here in the room. Yeah, here it is. Wow. Well, thanks, Val, for that. I appreciate it. And thank you too, Bio, because, yeah, and I overlooked that because I was looking at the whole exchange regarding the English language. But Reed, I appreciate it. You're late? Nah. You're on time, man. It's all good. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, Knicks Spurs right now. That should be a good game. I know the Knicks, after their win in Milwaukee the other night. And let me see. What do we got here? Yeah, they're up 19-11 right now, I see. With 2:50 to go first quarter. Wait a minute. The Cardinals, they gave Oliver Marmol a 2-year extension? Wow. Now, listen, the Cardinals aren't going to be any good, but to me, he's not a good manager. No. Yes, Jim Hiller gets the axe. And DJ Smith, who I believe is a former player. Listen, I hear you, J-Rod. It's one of those things where now, if it happened in January, it would still suck because he's not going to play. But because now here you are, you're getting ready to embark on hopefully a run to a Final Four, and to have an injury like that, man, yeah, it's enormous. Tough. Oh, Will Richard? Yeah, Warriors are banged up, man. They really. Oof. Need to get on the podcast with 10 rapid. Let me know, Fourth Line. I'm down. I'm in. Please. I would love that. Would love it. And we could talk old school. We could talk whatever. Please hit me up. Oh, it's my favorite fighter. Dislike fighter. Listen, I want to get into that right now, but no, I'll save it. Oh, my dislike fighter. God, I got so many of them. It's not even. Oh, I think I got more dislike fighters than favorite fighters. But again, this is going back now, 80s. This isn't even a thing where, yeah, I can go like the last 10, 15 years. I mean, there's a couple of guys I don't like. But again, to me, they were fighters, but they weren't. I'll give you an example. Sean Avery, I couldn't stand. I know he's more of a pest agitator. And yeah, he did fight, but he wasn't great. I mean, come on. Let's call it as we see it. Because when you think of fighters, you think of, and to me, I wouldn't even call him a light heavyweight. Because, a light heavyweight, if you want to go really talk about fighters, light heavyweight, you're talking Nevin Marquardt, you're talking Todd Gill, you're talking George McPhee. I mean, those guys, come on. Again, you're not trying to compare here, but Sean Avery against those guys, you think he's going to last? He's going to be hanging on for dear life. So that's just an example. Brent, there he is. I guess Brent did a drive-by. I don't know. Is he still with us? Thank you, Brent. I know I owe you a text too, man. I know you sent me that text the other day, and I looked at it this morning. Like, I didn't get back to Brent on that. I know I'm bad with my follow-ups too, because I just get, I'm not good. All right, here we go. What do we got here? J-Rod, looking good here for weather, calling 5 days in a row. Wow. Yeah, I saw next week is supposed to be 70 degrees. I saw that a couple of days ago. I said, nah, that's got to be a typo. And then now I think it's supposed to be in the 60s. Yeah, right now it's 38, feels like 30. Wow, look at this. Starting from next Saturday, 57, then 63, 64, 68. Bring it on. Let's get Old Man Winter out of here. And I see Fishing Angel. Yes. So, you want summer over spring? I thought you said, wait, did you write before that? Oh, no, this is J-Rod. I had enough of the cold storm. Yes, bring on spring. Hell yeah. And on top of that, I know that's the one thing with spring, especially in the Northeast. I don't know about in your neck of the woods, Jay and Fishing Angel. We get a couple of days where it's like 70, 75. Like, ooh, no jacket today. Or you get that freakish 80-degree day, but then it reverts right back. 55 and rainy. It's 60, but it's windy as hell. It's cold. Like, all right, you have a hoodie or a windbreaker on, but it feels like, man, this is spring. I remember when I was a boy, when spring came, yeah, you had a couple of cold days. I remember there was a snowstorm in 1982 in New York where I think we got, I want to say, a foot of snow. It was right around Easter. And it was a thing where that was like the freakish thing that never saw happen pretty much since, now that I think about it. But I remember spring, April, Easter. Yeah, it was nice. Everybody had their Easter outfits, whether going to church or family, whatever. And now, like Easter, which I believe it's early this year, isn't it April 5th or 6th? Yeah, it could be 70 degrees, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 52 degrees. And that's a tough thing, too. Baseball in now late March, but April into May, especially those night games. Oh, man, when you see the guys with the turtlenecks on, they got the, like the cold weather gear over their ears. I mean, it's just like, like they're playing these games. It's raw, 48 degrees at night. Wind chill's probably in the low 40s, upper 30s. You guys know, because I'm sure when the Tigers in Comerica, those night games in April, they're rough. Even early May at times. But yeah, it's rough to watch. You forget about Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like, is he still in the league? Yeah. And I got, you know what? Can I get on Stephen A for a second? Fishing Angel has you on the TV over Hawaii 5-0. Wow. I'm humbled. I am. I don't even know what to say to that. And I mean that because I know how much he's a Hawaii 5-0 CSI fan. And here I am just babbling away, talking about sports or talking about things that are relevant, whatever. We talk about the weather. We talk about, stuff like that. And for her to do that, I tell you, I mean, it's hard to put into words because I don't take this for granted, people. I do not. And you know that. Every time I see you guys on here, it's greetings, it's salutes, it's whatever. Never take this for granted, man. And just knowing that she is watching, whether, on the TV or on your phone. I know there's been times to be like, hey, have you on the phone and the TV? But Fishing Angel, I thank you. And Jay, too. Hey, listen, you guys are obviously a team. I know, without sounding like a Hallmark card, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And you know that. Certainly an honor and a privilege. Oh, did they? I know I haven't followed the women's game as much. I couldn't even tell you what's going on there. But that's good. And hopefully you get a double dip, just like didn't the UConn women? Oh, UConn I know won last year. And I know UConn won the 2 years prior to that because they were trying to get the daily double, the men's and the women's. Kind of like the USA with the women's hockey team and the men's hockey team. So, my wheelhouse. You and I, old timers, will talk Langdon, Twist, Costa, for you, the whole deal. Yes. Fourth line, I am in. Absolutely. Yeah, Darren Langdon was no joke either, man. And he was part of that. Yeah, those guys in the late 90s into the 2000s, Darren Langdon, Colton Orr, Eric Goddard. Sandy McCarthy was a little early, but he bled into that too. Twister. I mean, Twister's, come on. Twister's an all-timer. Costa's an all-timer. Yes. I'm. Where do I sign up? Fourth line. Marty McSorley's your favorite bio? Yeah, no, McSorley was no joke either, though, man. What he did to Donald Brashear, though, I was shocked. I understand it's 100 years ago, and he did that when he was with the Bruins, wasn't he? I know Brashear was in Vancouver, and I want to say McSorley because my cousin, JD, who I was hoping to get on this live stream today, and I don't know, he could still make an appearance. I got to see. He hasn't hit me up. He's a huge Bruin fan, and yeah, he was disgusted. He's like, I never liked McSorley, whatever, and he's a huge fight fan like me. And it's like, look, and he's going to do this, and I believe he was in a Bruin uniform when he did that. So, no, but yeah, McSorley was. He's also an old timer too. Tough as nails. Obviously, the two fights with Bob Probert, especially that second one when McSorley went back to Pittsburgh. But the first one was great too. Yeah, no, McSorley is he's a tough customer, man. He really was. Let's see. Last year, spring sucked here. Was cold till May. Ugh, yeah, the year before it. Yeah, and right, when you're surrounded by the lakes, I'm sure you get a lot of the cold fronts there, and it could be tricky from forget about 1 year to the next, one day to the next. So, yeah, I just hope we don't have this, this up and down type spring. I was trying to find the right words. So up and down is what I used. Oh, how about this? I don't want to have an erratic spring. Not to say it has to be 75 every day from March 21st to June, but a little consistency. I understand you can have that day, it's 50 degrees, it's rainy, it's chilly. All right, fine, I get it. But I don't want to have 50-degree rainy days for like a week. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's been a few Memorial Days. And I think last year one. What did I do last year, Memorial Day? Memorial Day weekend. Excuse me, I'll never forget. I think like the Friday and Saturday Memorial Day weekend was like 50 degrees. What the hell is that? When I was a boy, teenager, young adult, that was like, heading to the beach. It was 80, 85, automatic. None of this 50 degrees and rain. I mean, what is this? And right, you can talk about what's happening in the world with the climate and all that, and I get that. And I believe there's truth to that, because if that wasn't like that when I was a kid, as I just explained, hey, we had springs. I'll never forget going to play baseball, stickball, wiffle ball, whatever, and it was like late April. When baseball season started, we're outside playing already. And I remember being in short sleeves and shorts or whatever, and it was like nothing. Where now, you'd be lucky if you get an 80-degree day in April. Listen, that's just how it is. So, right, we understand that a lot has changed since I was talking about 30, 40 years ago. But come on. The Djokovic starts, same lineup. Yeah, because the other goalie started yesterday. Who do they play today? I'm curious. NHL. San Jose. Oh, they host Winnipeg. Yeah, I know the Panthers play the Islanders tonight. 6:30. St. Louis, Minnesota, Chicago, Utah, Calgary, Anaheim. All right, that's your NHL for today. And NBA for today. Let's see. I mean, obviously you had the two games. You have Celtics Sixers tonight on NBC. I'll watch that. And that's on. They're on back-to-back weeks. Remember, last year they had Lakers Celtics. Sorry, Bio. I don't want to bring up bad memories. Detroit at Orlando today. Minnesota, Denver. That's your 3:30 game. Cleveland, Brooklyn. Milwaukee, Chicago. OKC, Dallas. Yeah. Kings are in LA tonight. Yeah, and that is your NBA. As far as the games of note, I'm not talking about New Orleans and at the Clippers or Portland at Atlanta. So let's see. She watched all the episodes of her Snake Show. She was back to Y50 and CSI. Snake Show. Snake Show. What is that? Is that like a nature show? I don't know. I'm curious. Fishing Angel, please. Oh, thanks, Jay. Hey, Liz, thank you. Fishing Angel, please. Thank you. Thank you twice more than once. Yeah, Jimmy J still think. I say that kidding around, Val. Yeah, Marty was a Bruin. Yeah, I thought so. And I think that incident happened when he was with a, whatchamacallit, when he was with the Bruins. Darren McCarty, obviously very good, number 25. I mean, think about that. Imagine if these three guys all play together. Joe Kocur, Bob Probert, Darren McCarty, they would have had the numbers 24, 25, 26. And Probert's was mine. I mean, listen, everybody knows how I feel about Bob Probert. 81 in SoCal. Oh, man. I tell you. Unk. Greetings. Welcome, my man. Thanks for passing by. I appreciate you. You remember playing softball in April when you was a kid? Yes. And it wasn't cold, right? You didn't feel like, oh, geez, I got to put on long sleeves or whatever. No, exactly. Spring was spring back then. Now, forget about it. It's like, especially in New York, you could only go through, like, in 1 week, you could go through all 4 seasons. One day could be 40 degrees with a wind chill 30 in late April, early May. Then you'll have the 60-degree day, which will feel like spring and fall. And then you have the 75, 80-degree day, and it's like all in 1 week. So Mother Nature can't make up her mind here in the Northeast. Oh, I hate it. I hate's a strong word, but it's a reference to Mother Nature. And I got to watch it. She may strike down on me as I say that. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. And the cold, rainy stuff, that's rough. And I understand. Oh, James, I got to get to that. I'll get you a comment in a second. Yeah, those cold, rainy days are rough, man. And listen, we need rain. I get it. We need water. We need for the trees and the flowers, plants, etc. But man, and I'll never forget, there was a day last week. I think it was last Saturday before the storm. It was 40 degrees, wind chill. I think it was like in the low 30s, and it was raining sideways, and it was raw outside. It was like the last thing you want to be is outside. Those days I can't stand. If it's in the summer or late spring where you get those days, you could deal with it because it's actually feels good. But in the wintertime, Rough. Unc James. Kudos. Wow. And didn't you have like 500 a couple weeks ago? Now, I remember you telling me about that video where I looked at it and I couldn't see. I knew you were saying something that, yeah, it was an AI and they were wearing the JAYREELZ shirt or whatever. Yeah, I didn't see that. Or maybe I need to wear my glasses, which I have right here, by the way, just in case. Because you know me, I always leave them over there. And that's that. But yeah, I looked up that video, but for some reason I wasn't able to see it because I remember you were saying that, in the video that I had the JAYREELZ podcast, which that would be something. Everything in the river starts spawning, and that's go time. Oh, I hear that. That's when you get out there. Oh, here we go. Swamp people, invasion of serpents. What channel is that on? I've never heard that. It's a show in the movie. Yeah, in the Everglades, they've talked about how they got to get rid of those pythons. Which I know. I mean, are they slaughtering them? Or I mean, I understand they can't put them in some sort of sanctuary, and I guess they got to slaughter them, which is, don't like to see that or hear about that, but yeah, pythons from the Everglades. I know that those pythons are running or slithering rampant down there. Then invasive pythons on it. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I'll check that out. They're not making no more episodes. Oh, really? What was it? Just one season? That's weird. You figured if the success, they would just keep going on and on and on. In Colorado, our last day of snow is May 13th. Wow, it's that late? It makes sense because I know there were times, I remember when the Mets were in Colorado several years ago, 2018. No, I think it was when Terry Collins was the manager. And they were out there shoveling snow in late April. So, yeah, Shakir. I know I can't pronounce that last name. Yeah, he had a goal yesterday. I saw that. Yeah, it appeared for 5 seconds. I got to go back and look at that. Nah, Reed. You know what? I could watch it here if I put it on the second screen. But, yeah, I want to be present with you guys. So, yeah, I can have it on the background, but I can't put the volume on because then you're going to hear it. And who knows? That's when YouTube will come down and say, oh, you're airing a basketball game during a live, so therefore we're going to terminate my live stream. No, but I'm following the score here and there. I know the Knicks were up at the end of the first quarter, 22-21. What is it now? Oh, now they're on a run. Well, now they're what? 8-0 run? Yeah, they were up 19-11, the Spurs. So they've gone on a, what? Do the math. 18-2 run. So, yeah, Knicks are, I don't know. I don't know about them. I think they're going to break their fans' hearts again. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it in the conference semifinals. All right. In video, that was my 700 subs video. All right. I got to go back and check that out. I will. Definitely. Well, History Channel. Okay. All right. Maybe I'm sure I can see it on demand. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of that. But, yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Interesting. All right. Wemby at MSG. I know in the Spurs, they've been here since Thursday because they played the Nets Thursday night. And obviously have been here throughout the weekend. So, yeah, they play after this. They leave town and they play in Philadelphia on Tuesday. So they go literally right down 95. 6 likes. I know Valak always count on him for keeping score. Crystal Tang, 2 points away from his career. So on Pink. Yeah, Crystal Tang, he just came back from injury too. He was out a month, I believe, with a leg injury. What's this? Whoop, hang on. Oh, there's 5 seasons. He's watched them all. All right, and I just skipped this other one. Well, they're using their skins every part of the bodies for jewelry. Ah, is that right? For jewelry? Interesting. I'm kind of wondering, like, what I can see they use snakeskin boots and shoes and belts and things of that nature, but jewelry? Wow, interesting. All right. I had a albino pile down on my neck in Busch Gardens when I was younger. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I know. And I've been to sanctuaries where I've had the snake, tarantula. And the good thing is that, they keep the animals in safe spaces, because unlike zoos, like I don't go to zoos. I'd rather go to sanctuaries because I know that the treatment of the animals, they are treated fair. They're not just in a cage or in a, not a crate, in a tank where they can't really move. At least, especially with a snake, if you put them out, let's say, even if they're fenced in and I understand they could probably go up high, but fenced in to the point where they have enough room to roam around. That I like to see, as opposed to them just being trapped in some sort of where it's like they can't even move. And I never forget, I had a friend of mine, a roommate of mine, who had a snake, a boa, and he had it in this big, giant. It wasn't even a tank. He built it himself, but it was just. And even back then, I was just like, damn, that thing is huge. How can that thing get around? And it doesn't, but I tell you, what is this? March and April are the snowiest months. It's 65 today. Wait a minute. Oh, you mean to tell me March and April are the snowiest months in Colorado? So that wouldn't even be like November, December, January, where everybody goes to Vail or Aspen or Telluride to go skiing? Snacks are beautiful. What are you having, Fishing Angel? Uh-oh. The lady that shows Unrivaled basketball games live. I don't know how. The lady that shows, which one are you referring to? I know the league Unrivaled. Oh, they're actually playing a game now? I got you now. I should have put that together. I saw snacks. I'm like, oh, maybe you're snacking on something. And snacks are beautiful too, but yeah, snakes are beautiful creatures. They are. And wait a minute. They said maybe a foot of snow on Thursday? Yikes. Ugh. I hate snakes, no thanks. None for J-Rod. 13 foot. I know, that's insane. It is. History Channel. Yeah, I got to check that out. Yeah, no commercials, $6 a month. Yeah, of course, streaming, right? In the world we live in now. Or they won't have it on demand? Well, I know you guys don't have cable. I know we have cable, which I don't know why. I've told my wife several times. Cut the cord. We don't need this. Paint. And we didn't even watch the stuff that's on cable, which is crazy. Right. Remove the eggs. Yeah, absolutely. No, excellent. Totally understood that. Totally understand that. Looking forward to spring training? Yes. In Colorado. Yeah, it's crazy how March and April are just, man. Yeah, and listen, I take your word for it. Yeah, I mean, you would think that more of the snow would be in the winter months as opposed to the spring months, but bizarre. All right, guys, let's see. Now, I want to talk about real quick what's ahead for the next 365 days, and what's going to lead to the next thing. Now, last year, I know I talked about elevating the podcast, and what I would love to do is to be able to pivot from the standpoint of my podcast would be strictly guests. More of the former, current athlete, the studio host, the broadcaster, the color commentator, any walk of life when it comes to having to do with sports. And yeah, I love doing the commentary. I love sharing my opinions, thoughts, whatever. Obviously, I've built a long library. And what I've been trying to do, especially more so recently, is because today I posted something this morning about who's going to get that final number 1 seed. And I understand we're still 2 weeks away from Selection Sunday, but I put that out there. Obviously, the sports world's been slow. There isn't really much that I'm going to post on that is I feel worthy of posting. And, I just don't want to post just to post, although I got news for you. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm like, I didn't post anything Friday. I didn't post anything yesterday. I said, I got to post something. But, yeah, I know that I've been scaling back just a little bit when it comes to my daily shorts. A lot of that has to do with not a lot going on, but also I'm trying to find that sweet spot with the algorithm. And I understand the more you post, etc. But based on some of the things that I've read recently, and I've really taken into consideration the old theory, less is more. And that doesn't mean I'm going to cut back completely or stop. No, absolutely not. But it's being a little bit more strategic when it comes to putting up content as opposed to just putting up a million videos, which I know I've done, especially when it comes to the live podcast, because, I get it chopped up and I post it on my YouTube. And I know I got to post it on my also social media accounts as well. But yeah, my thing is that I want to be able to gain more traction, especially in the YouTube space, when it comes to doing what it is that I do. And I understand there's like more commentary videos. In fact, I have one that's in the works. I want to release it opening day. And I'm going to release opening day. And I'm not going to tip my hand. I will give you a hint. J-Rod, you'll like it. That's your hint. So you can think about what that's going to be. But yeah, I'm going to do more commentary stuff so then I could start having the algorithm pick that up. And I put up commentary videos and things of that nature, and even critique videos in the past, and some have stuck, some haven't. But yeah, to be more definitive in the stuff that I put out, I want to make sure that not only, of course, I want it to gain traction and subscribers, etc., but I want it to be a thing where it's going to be thought-provoking. And I try to do that with the shorts now, but thought-provoking to the point where I want to continue to build the community. I want to continue to gain more traction. And just to give you an example, let's say if I want to do a video on just college sports, and I'm sure you've seen a million other videos or whatever, but talk about it with a particular purpose, angle, not just like, oh, NILs and transfer portals, how it's ruining college sports. Yeah, all right, yeah, we know. But college sports was, to me, screwed even before that. But why? To what extent have college sports, let's say in my eyes, college basketball in particular, isn't what it once was? And I've thought about doing a video like that. And this is why I'm sharing this with you. And I still may do it because it's between now and the start of March Madness, which will be 2 weeks from this Thursday. Although I know the first four starts 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday. But it's a thing where, yeah, I want to have that type of content out more often and to actually publish, whether it be once a week, obviously once a week, or even twice a week. So let's say if I did a video Monday, or excuse me, if I did a video Sunday and let's say Tuesday, because Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do the live streams and podcasts. So maybe the Sunday, Tuesday, or even Sunday, maybe Friday, Sunday, whatever. Those would be the days where those videos come out. But just to do that, I don't want it to be a thing where I'm, as much as I want to do a bunch of different things, and I still may, but I want the algorithm to really take it and run with it. And that's what I've been doing here, especially over this last month, to try to see if I could find that sweet spot. And listen, it'd be great to go viral, whatever. And to me, that's not the point of having that one video to go viral. And hey, no. It's to be consistent with what it is that I put out, besides the podcast and the live streams, as you know. But to have those type of videos where people say, oh, I know JAYREELZ every Sunday is going to put out a commentary video, or Sunday and Tuesday, or Sunday and Friday, or whatever it is. Sunday for sure. I want Sunday because when you wake up on a Sunday and you go to your YouTube, it's like, automatic by, let's say, 12 noon, it's going to be there, as opposed to doing it all over the map. And I dabbled in that a little bit when I did my little mini series with the Super Bowl 40 with my father, and how we had that experience of watching that whole Super Bowl run together. And, I published that for 4 Sundays in a row. And yeah, I want to be able to do more of that. And one episode got over 100 views, whatever. And I get it. It's a niche thing because it's more personal. It's not like a broad thing about, well, hey, just like I said, why college basketball is ruined more so than college football, or why it's tough to watch college basketball in 2026 than it was in 1996, where people will be like, oh, yeah, I'd like to see that. And I still may do that. The baseball one that I have a baseball one in mind. I'm leaking this all of a sudden for the start of the year, the start of the baseball season. But those videos starting this month, I want it to be on the regular. And obviously, we'll see how that goes. And then same thing with the podcast, to have it with the one title. That's another thing I've also tweaked, because in the past I try to squeeze in everything under those 100 characters to say, I don't know, to give you an example, last week, USA wins gold. The Knicks are scuffling. Exhibition season baseball begins. And that's too much. You want to have that one title that's going to stick. And again, just from the research, obviously without it being clickbaity, so that people right away would know. And then, of course, I have everything timestamped. So if they want to just fast forward to whatever it is that I'm talking about, I could say, I don't know. The Celtics aren't going to make it to the NBA Finals. And then, obviously, at the 20-minute mark, that here I'm going to talk about the Celtics. So, yeah, those are some of the adjustments that I've been not only doing, but I've been contemplating and making additions more so to the channel than to the podcast. But I will say, as far as the podcast goes, I'm hoping, because, listen, as a one-man operation, and obviously I haven't been consistent when it comes to reaching out to a lot of these people that have expressed, the athletes, the studio hosts, bloggers, either other podcast channels. And look, I had Fourth Line on here and he wants to get on his, which, hey, I'll do that with the quickness. And that's the main thing too. I will only hope to make more appearances and have people come on my podcast, etc. Because, yeah, I just want it to be guest related. And then I'll do my commentary videos when need be. If there's a big trade, obviously a big sports story, anything that's really like, oh, I got to talk about this, that I'll have it in a commentary video, as opposed to putting it in a short or waiting for the podcast to come out to expound on it then. So, yeah, this is what I'm hoping for as we get into the 8th year, as we go into the spring, and hopefully by summer, where I have more guests on, to the point where maybe I just do the Monday podcast. I think I'll always do the Monday podcast to rehash everything. But if I gain so much traction to where I have a bunch of guests and a bunch of people want to come on, that Monday podcast won't be an overview of what had happened in the sports world. Now, I may do my shorts as reference to that. Oh, did you see what happened last night in NBA playoffs? Or, oh, my God, what a buzzer beater. Or at the round 1, Lakers Rockets, or whatever. So all these things are going through my brain. And during my downtime, this is what I'm doing, because I got to make changes. I got to make pivots. I got to see what's going to work. I got to see what's going to stick. I got to see what's not going to work. And yeah, if I just cranked out podcasts and live streams and, whatever, and taken the snippets from that and posted, and if I knew that was going to be an automatic slam dunk to where I'm going to get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers, or the sponsors, etc., then please, I already would have had a ton of people log into the channel or on social media, etc. But as we all know, the definition of insanity, I'm not going to do the same thing over and over and over and expect different results. No, I got to see what it is I could do to make sure that more eyeballs get to my content. That, yes, I know I got to probably be on other people's podcasts, whatever, and vice versa. Also, hopefully hit on one of those former athletes, or even a current athlete, if I'm lucky to get one, to get them on to talk so they get posted on their social media accounts, etc. And yeah, that's how this thing's going to work in order for me to get to where I want to go. So let's see. Obviously, you guys and gals will be kept posted, as you know, as we move it along, where, I'm thinking about now I've gotten, let's say, I don't know, I've recorded 6 conversations. So the next 6 Thursdays is going to be just about the guest, but Monday I'll talk about this. Because that's what I want to do. I want to pivot that podcast to where it's just guests, because then it'll get to a point where the sponsors, the companies, they're going to look and say, wow, he got this guest, that guest, whatever. And, oh, yeah, he does do commentary on what's happening in sports. And, oh, wow, he has this commentary video on the Luka Doncic trade. Or, oh, he's talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation, whatever it is. And that's what I have looking forward over the next 365 with that. So let's see. You'll be the first to be notified as far as any pivots that are going to come about. So it's not like it's going to come at you as a surprise. And that's what I got there as far as the podcast goes moving forward. Now, let me get to this before I get to the comments there. I do see comments. The 1-year anniversary live streams. Now, it's interesting because my first live stream that I did for the channel was in January of last year. That was after the Steelers lost to the Ravens in the wild card game. And, yeah, I was irate. They were awful, blah, blah, blah. And it was that night where I thought to myself, I said, I need to do more live streams. And then in February, I did a post right after the Super Bowl, which there wasn't much to talk about. I mean, the Eagles were up 34-0, and they won 40-22 in a cakewalk. And as much as I thought about doing one this year, but last year I was at home. I figured, I can't go anywhere. I said, I'm going to focus after the game. I'll do it here. And that's that. Where this year, as you know, I went to my in-laws and we watched it there. So, and they had people over. So, yeah, I'm not going to be selfish to bring all my equipment set up and pretty much have a 3.5-hour commentary of the game. And obviously the game wasn't good, as you know. So dating back to even last January, but to have that consistency leading up until March 1st of last year. And then after that, that's when the live streams took off. And I love doing these. I love it because obviously you guys and gals who have been ultra uber supportive, and just knowing that people have jumped in from all over the world, which I love too. And I know that the Wednesday live stream I started, and then it wasn't until, I don't know, was it maybe September that I started doing the podcast free games on Monday and Thursday before the podcast. And I understand that at times that's gone off the rails too, because, people jump on board. They want to talk about, remember Miles wants to recite hip hop lyrics and talking about he's Superman and whatever. And, I let him be. He's a young kid, whatever. And yeah, I want it to be interactive, but I understand I also got to reel it in at times. And I know there have been times, whatever, it's gone off the rails, but it's just making everybody inclusive because, yes, although I do talk sports and that's the preference, but if somebody's going to bring up something about, where am I from, or is it cold there, whatever, of course, I'm going to answer it. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, we're talking sports. We're not talking about the weather here in New York. Or we're not talking about what it is that I'm drinking today or, whatever. This, I just added this for fun because when I had the water, as you know, people, oh, you sure he's not drinking? But, yeah, how I look at it is that these live streams, I feel, is just adding more to the growth. And I understand that could also be a detriment too, because doing it through the channel, it's a thing where I'm upsetting the algorithm a little bit. to an extent, because as I shared with you earlier, the numbers since I've been doing the live podcasts and even with some of the live streams, they've been great. Even that New Year's Eve one, running up Broadway in Manhattan, that I got in the first day was like 860 some odd views. Because I understand I'm with my little tripod and I'm running and it's New Year's Eve and people are like, what the hell is this guy doing? And all right, I get it's a little bit different. And here I am being almost like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like a tour guide hosting, like, hey, there's the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, what building is that? Oh, there's the Freedom Tower. There's the Statue of Liberty. There's the Empire State Building. So, yeah, I get it. That could be intriguing to some people, and they may look at it as like, oh, this guy's talking about New York. It's not a sports channel. Uh-oh. No, here's somebody outside, so I thought Kismet was going to – she's over here laid out. So, yeah, so people are going to look at that and be like, oh, this guy talks about anything and everything. And with those live streams, I'm open to doing that. But, yeah, I'm not going to go down particular rabbit holes or things like that, or people are going to say stupid things. Let them say what they're going to say. It's not going to bother me. Whatever even if they say something personal, I'm just going to be like, all right. Or somebody comes on with some stupid joke. But, yeah, but the live streams every Wednesday, still plan to do that because that's my time to really connect with you. I know the podcast, the live ones, it's more on the back end where I connect. I mean, we still connect, but it's not like I'll talk about a particular subject or like I'm talking about the NBA and I'll go to the NBA, then I stop and I say, all right, guys, what do you think? And then I'll say, oh, hey, we'll start talking. And then, all right, now on to the NHL. No, I want to do all that first and then go back, which I understand that's could be a detriment because there's people that are in the room early. That's why I have the graphic on the bottom. When it comes to welcome to the JAYREELZ podcast, please leave your comment or I'll answer your comments after I talk about it in the next hour, whatever it is that I have it documented. And that's it. And I understand people aren't going to read that or look at that. They'll see the ticker and they're like, huh? Well, all right. And then they're like, hey, JAYREELZ, shout me out. Or, hey, what do you think about this? And meanwhile, I was like 10 minutes into my podcast, and here I am getting back to that question or that comment, whatever, 50 minutes, almost an hour later. So, and I get it, that's a little dangerous in that regard, but at the same time, again, it's just trying to experiment and to see what's going to work and to see what could take off as far as putting out particular content. Because I'm sure when you think about the iShow Speeds of the world and the Kai Sanats and a lot of these guys that stream, who's the other guy? The other one starts with an F. I forgot his name. But anyway, yeah, these guys that stream, they weren't getting a zillion subscribers or a lot of hits in those first couple of days. And I get it that they're 20 years old and they don't have big time responsibilities. And listen, and I'm not trying to be those guys by any means. I mean, come on. I'm 56 years old. I'm not going to live stream, although that's ironic because my next comment you're going to see is going to surprise you. But yeah, there you go. But it's a thing where it scared the hell out of me. But it's a thing where, yeah, I know I'm not trying to be that type of, I don't want to say that guy or that personality or whatever, where it's like, hey, look at me, blah, blah, blah. No. Yeah, we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk this, whatever people are going to say. That's that. But I understand with those type of accounts, yeah, they may be talking about video games or whatever. But, obviously you guys, what you're here for. So that's all that matters in my eyes. But with the 1 year anniversary and to congratulate and thank you guys and gals for riding with me on these live streams day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, and now to a year. Another thanks to you guys and gals. So I got to shout you out for that. I'll get to my next comment in a moment. Let me get to your comments. It's been dry. March and April, I know you were talking about the snow months or how much it snows in those months. But it's been dry recently. I guess that's good, right? What's that? You meant to say intentional, Unk? You out of here, Unk? Peace. I appreciate you stopping by. If you're still here, great. That was 19 minutes ago. There he is. Fuqua. I didn't shout you out earlier. I know I should have, because I thought you'd be here, but you're here now, and that's all that matters. Thank you, Fuqua, and thank you for your undying support, for your participation, for your AKAs, AKA dad ships, Tatsuya and I, who I believe got a ball hit off his shin yesterday, did he not? Everyday Mets, Jonathan Sean Cup, Cow Kai Bull, all of them. And what was your last one before this? Hold on, time out. It's coming to me. Oh my God, it's coming to me. Rhoda Penmark, that was an old one, but the one you just had recently. Mystery. No, I don't know. I forgot what it was. But Rhoda Penmark, I forgot that one. You know, I appreciate you, Fuqua. Thank you. And Val B. I like that. Val B goes, I have an Xfinity stream where I watch sports. Sounds like an ad. Thank you, Val. I enjoy this podcast so much. It makes me happy to listen. Wow. What can I say, Val? Thanks to you. And I appreciate you. You know that. All the way out from Pacific Grove, California. Yeah, your birthday's in June, right? Wait, hold on. June 28th, I think, right? I think it's June 28th, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of which, we're in the month of March, which only means, but I'll say that for another time, but it's a big month for me. So looking forward to that, but you'll hear that along the way. Penguins up. Wow, 3-0, huh? Yeah, that's the TNT game. That's right, Fishing Angel. Without question. 1,000%. And that's why, big believer in whatever it is that you put out, that's what you're going to get back. And you may not get it back right away. You may not get it back when you want it to come back, but it will come to you. And yeah, I'm a huge believer in that spiritual sense. So you want to put out negative stuff, you want to put out bad stuff, or you want to have bad intentions, or be that sociopath where you want to be charming. Hey, blah, 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 blah. And the next thing you know, that you screw people over. It's like, come on. I mean, sadly, there's many people that are like that, but there are not a lot of people that show gratitude, not a lot of people that are appreciative, all that. That's why I know, I'm sure you guys are sick of me thanking you a million times and saying how much I appreciate you and this and that. And it's like, all right, we get it. You've only said it 8 zillion times. But again, and the same would apply if I had 100,000 subscribers and there was 200 people in this chat room. And yeah, when I start seeing and scrolling the names and the comments and all that, trust me, when I see the Vals and the Fishing Angels and the JAYREELZ and the Bios and the Fuquas and the Brents and the Reeds and Toppers, I know Toppers isn't into it today. James D, I haven't seen in a while. I hope he's all right. In fact, I got to see what's up. The Novice is another one. Shout out to him. You know, all the people that I know that have been my day ones, close to my day ones, etc. They'll know. Val B showing love. I love it. Yeah, positive. Yeah. Got to. Can't be negative. Can't be, oh, why isn't it happening yet? Oh, why this, why that? And it's even more grateful to have a partner who's been ultra supportive. She's could have been like, hey, you've been doing this for 2 years. Nothing's happened. You haven't made any money. We haven't done this. We haven't done that. You guys start looking for a job. I mean, she's talked to me about it, like, hey, like, what's going on? And I got to be forthright and honest, but it's not to the point where it's like, oh, your stupid little hobby's not working. No, she knows I'm a lunatic for sports and I'm a kook, and she's a big-time believer. And she's actually giving me some advice on what to do, like with content and things of that nature. And I've listened. And some of the stuff that I even shared with you a little while ago, as far as like doing the commentary videos and things of that nature. Yeah. Some of those things, like she wants me to do more like history stuff, which I would probably do. But again, this is the whole experimental thing. And hopefully over the next 365, especially when it comes to the channel, let's just see what's going to stick and what's not. And I'm hoping that it does stick, and I believe that it will. Obviously, I got to put forth the work. And J-Rod, I know you've been also uber supportive by saying, hey, man, put in the work, and that's it. And that's absolutely. Yeah, there we go. Wrote a pen mark. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look out. Where is the Rhoda Penmark name from? That's got to be. Didn't you say it was from fictional character? Oh, I love it. The Bad Seed. Rhoda Penmark. I love it. Color portrait of McCormick. Wait, what's this girl's name? She was portrayed by Patty McCormick in the original rendition of the play. And she's still with us. Oh, she was born on my father's birthday 5 years before he was born. So she is Patty McCormick, born in New York City. She is 80 years old. Wow. Rhoda, I don't know what you guys listen. That's what I love. That's what I love about you guys. I love Val B. Oh, we're talking about fishing games. Yeah, everybody's cool here. 49 needs a wide receiver could be a number one and stay healthy. They do need a wide receiver. No more Brandon Ayuk. Obviously, Deebo Samuel's long gone. Ricky Pearsall, is he the guy? I don't think so. Juwan Jennings, is he the guy? I don't think so. So, yeah. I'm with you, Val, on that. And if people say you can't do it, try harder, you achieve. Oh, absolutely. But I will say this. I've been really blessed that people, and even if they did, I wouldn't listen to them anyway. But everybody that I've come across throughout this journey, prior to quitting my job, and more so in the last 2 years, they've never said anything in my face as far as negative. But, yeah, they've been, go for it, lucky you. Oh, I wish I could do that. I can't do that because I got whatever, mortgage, debt, kids, you name it. And, yeah, I'm blessed in that regard. And even it was a thing where there were haters. And I'm sure there are haters out there privately. And they're oh, that's fine. That just fuels me. And I got news for you. I don't know if she's doing this purposely. And I don't think she's watching right now because I know she's in New Orleans, my lovely wife. But I have to say, there are times where, especially during the football season and the playoffs and when college football and when I'm telling her I have to, hey, I got to watch this game. Or, all right, I'll miss the first half of this, but I'll follow it on my phone. And when I tell her that you got to understand, this is work. I mean, it's not work in the sense of clocking in, punching in a time card 9 to 5, but I tell her, I say, hey, this is what I do. And she's aware of that. God bless her. But then she says, all right, but where's the money? Where's the pay coming in? She goes, if you're getting paid and the money was coming in, you can watch all the games you want. And I understand what she's saying, but that just fuels my fire even more because when that day comes, not if, when it comes, yeah, there are 3 college football playoff games as well as 2 NFL games here on a Saturday. I got to watch. It's going to be tough to watch all at the same time. But yeah, I got to be on top of this. And if I'm getting paid, and then what's she going to say then? That's why many years ago, I don't want to say teased. I got ridiculed when people have said to me, and mind you, this is before I started this whole journey dating back 25 years, where watching these games and getting invested and angry and frustrated at the Mets or the Steelers, whatever. And there were some people that would say, oh, like, why do you watch this, man? I mean, these people don't pay your bills. These people don't care about you, so on and so forth. And I just looked at them like, no, duh, I understand that, but this is what I love. This is what I watch. This is what I root for. So never once did I ever look at that like, oh, you know what, you're right. Oh, yeah, like, why am I watching this? And I just kind of laugh. I'm like, all right, you could say that, and that's fine. That I get pissed off, or here I'm getting wrapped up on my team losing another playoff game or series or whatever. And it's like, oh, and again, this was going back to the 90s. So I was in my mid-20s. And I had a couple of people say that, and I didn't pay any mind because I love what I love, and that's it. But when I think back on that, and hear that. And granted, that technology was a far cry from what it was today. But now, and I understand I'm not getting paid yet, but who has the last laugh now? Because all those sports that I watched back then and dating back to a boy and everything that I've accumulated that is stuck in this brain of mine, yeah, I could talk about it. And I could talk about it with anyone on this planet. Well, just about anyone. Because if I'm going to, let's say, if I'm in Germany or in France and people want to talk about soccer or football in their eyes, I'm lost. And I understand the World Cup's coming around, and obviously I got to get myself brushed up, and I'm not going to come out like I'm some expert on it. But, hey, I got to be on top of it as we get closer to it. But my point is that just because somebody is going to say something, it's not going to bother me because I know how I feel. And just like what you said here, Fishing Angel, try harder, achieve what you want to achieve. And if my wife's teasing me about, well, you're not getting paid yet, but you can watch all the games you want. All this is just more logs. And in the case of my wife, that's not personal. And I understand it's a business thing because she knows that I'm a kook and that somebody can wake me up Wednesday at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, somebody wants to talk to you about the NHL trade deadline, which is this Friday. All right, let's go. It's not going to be like, oh, really? I got to do this now? It's not like waking me up. Oh, I got to be in the office early because I got to set up a boardroom with 5 microphones, a video conference, which is what I used to do, and I have to be in the office at 7:30 because the practice coordinator, aka the secretary, asked me to be there early because they're going to start at 8 o'clock. But in essence, they're not going to start at 8, they're going to start at 9, but they just want me there early at 7:30 just to set up, just to be on standby. Well, if the sucker isn't going to start at 9 o'clock, why do I got to be there at 7:30? Well, I can set up the day before, and the video conference literally just takes 10 seconds to connect. Yeah, I understand I'm getting paid for it. I understand I get benefits. I understand I get vacation. I understand I get sick days, all that, which is fantastic, and it's great. I get it. But I got tired of that. I don't want to be woken up extra early to hop on a subway to go into Manhattan to go do this nonsense. Granted, I'm getting paid for it. I understand. But no. This is why if somebody said to me, hey, JAYREELZ, you could be on with, I don't know, Skip Bayless. I'm not a Skip Bayless fan, but you could be on with Skip Bayless, but you're going to be on a video call. It's at 4 a.m. Thursday. Guess what? Anytime, anywhere. Let's go. Let's do it. End of story. So, yeah, I know I just babbled there, but thank you, Fishing Angel, for that because that just gets me, gets me going. All right, let's see. Let me scroll up. A lot of comments have come down here. Yes, Val, that's true. Yes, wrote a pen mark. I had to look for myself. Bad seed. I don't know where you come up with that one, though. And I can already see. Let me see if I could come up with some of those AKAs for me. Jeez. And that's an obscure one, which I like. So let's say if there was a movie character's name that I'd be like, ooh, yeah, I would do, like Gordon Gekko, but that's a famous one. See, like that one, wrote a pen mark. I would have never known. Like if somebody would said, like if you came as an AKA as Gordon Gekko Fuqua, I'd be like, oh yeah, Gordon Gekko. That's Michael Douglas Wall Street. Wrote a pen mark, or the Cowboy Bull. I don't know. And I love that. That's what makes you creative, and it's at least it keeps me on my toes, and I'm trying to figure out who it is. Good for you, Val. Health is wealth. You know me. That's something I love to talk about. Not that I'm going to start talking about it now, but yeah, get on exercise. In fact, I need to run. I said I wasn't going to talk about exercise, right? I won't. I'll save that. Yes, Val, absolutely. Loving the room. I'm the type of person, if you tell me I can't achieve something, I'm going to do it just to prove it. That's it. I love it. And the other thing, too, if I may, I promise this will only be 2 minutes. Like some of the things that I do, people think that it's like, oh, my God, I can't believe you did that. And not that anybody has done that. I'm just giving you an example. When the day on New Year's Eve when I ran up Broadway, and people in the past would say something like, oh, I can't do that. Why not? Oh, I'm not a runner. So you think I was born a runner? You think I just woke up and was like, oh, I'm just going to run? Not a track star. I'm not a sprinter. I'm not track and field. I'm not Mr. Marathon man. None of that. I just, for whatever reason, running I know is good cardio, good for me, whatever. And that's it. But it's a thing where when you hear people say they can't do it, or worse, when they come out and say, oh, that's crazy you do that. Oh, I would never do that. That's nuts, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, fine. You feel that way. I get it. And everybody has the right to their own opinion. But don't look at me like I'm the crazy one. Like, oh, I would never do that. Oh, you're crazy. Well, why am I crazy? Yeah, I almost take offense to that, because just because you can't do it doesn't mean that no one else can. And just because you choose that it's impossible to do. No. Anybody could do anything for whatever. Just like I was just use J-Rod, for instance. If J-Rod wanted to, let's say, fish 24 hours straight, if he could do that, and let's say he live streamed that, I look at that as, yo, that's incredible. That's awesome. But I'm a kook like that. I'm into people doing remarkable achievements. And if anything, it inspires me. And I love it. So if I hear people, and I'll give you a quick example. There's this lady that every now and again, I see her running past my block. And I could tell she's a runner. She has like all the T-shirts from the marathons and races that she's run. And I was walking Kismet a couple days ago, and I bumped into her. I didn't see her running. I saw her walking. And I said, hey, I know you're a runner. I've seen you run past the front of my building. And she goes, oh, yeah. And I asked her, I said, oh, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And she tells me the type of runs that she does. And she's just finished doing a 50K run, which is an ultra marathon. The 50K being, it's like 33.6 miles. And she says she wants to do a 50 miler. I don't know what my dog's doing over there. Speaking of which, she wants to do a 50 miler and a 100-mile race. And that's something that I aspire to do one day. But I love that. I'm like, great. Or just like if J-Rod, I want to do 24 hours fishing. Or Fishing Angel, I know you fish, obviously. If you both wanted to do that, I'd be like, that'd be awesome. And if you document that, maybe not a live stream, but let's say, hey, here I am. It's the first hour. Oh my God, it's dark outside, whatever. But we got lights, as you can see. We're not far off the shore. I'd love that. Because to me, it's compelling. It's great to see people do extraordinary things. What? Everybody wants to be boring and mundane and not do. I mean, come on. We're put on this earth to do good. We're not put on this earth to do bad stuff or to be negative towards people, whatever. No. So, yes, when I read that, Fishing Angel, I feel you. I'm at 2023. Oh, that's all right. Listen, you're going on 3 years. Awesome. No, Fuqua, you're funny. Cricket matches. I know. And that's the other thing, too. You want to laugh for this? You know, when you think about like the Live Golf, how the people have jumped ship, the Bryson DeChambeau's, excuse me, the Dustin Johnsons. I know Brooks Koepka's coming back to the PGA now. Guys like that, Phil Mickelson, etc., where, not that this would ever happen in a million years, but that would almost be similar to like some sports talk in Saudi was like, hey, we hear about you, JAYREELZ. We want to, you could stay where you're at, do it from home, but we want you to just talk Saudi. Here's $8 billion. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating, but here's $8 billion, but you can only talk about cricket, soccer, and whatever the sports that I may not be clued in on. Now, of course, my wife would say, are you nuts? You better start watching cricket. You better start watching soccer. You better start watching. I said, and even if I did, I got to go back decades of this stuff. What do you think? I could watch what's going on now and be like, all right. But I wouldn't sell out like that. No, they got to have me and me to talk the sports that I talk now. All right, I understand you want me to talk a little bit more soccer. You know what? I'd be open to that. I would be. Because let's say World Cup. At least, and I got to get, as I've said before, but all right, fine. But no, I'm not having somebody try to buy me or to sell out just for the sake of, oh my God, I'm getting offered a blank check. And now the next live stream you're going to see of me. All right, guys, so check this out. The Premier League, you had this battle between, you're going to be like, well, no. What happened with the Mets? What happened with your team yesterday? Oh, Terry Skubal threw a no-hitter, and now he wants $8 zillion or whatever. Talk about that. It's like, no, guys, I got to talk about the soccer matches, and next we're going to talk about cricket. You're going to tune me out in a heartbeat. So, yeah, that ain't happening. Sorry. But, yeah, it's just one of those things where, people, yeah, they're going to sell out, and, hey, that's up to them. But, you know me, integrity, authenticity, and transparency. Oh, it's the 29th, Val. Okay. I was off by a day. I knew it was close. 29th. I remember that. And I have friends' birthdays on that day, too, so I'll remember that. Mets winning 2-1. Oh, excuse me. Are they on TV today? Yeah, now I'm starting to repeat that. I know this is 32 ounces. Almost there. Let's see. Val, I sometimes just watch sports scores. No, you're a kook. You're like us. Yeah, I can't go. Please, I can't even go an hour without locking in on anything on sports. Can't. That's important. And those are that's the type of energy you want to be around. You don't want to be around those negative people. You can't do this. You do that. Always complaining. Ugh, no thanks. 49ers can't stay healthy. Yes. I know. And he had that terrible incident. He got shot too. That was 2 years ago, though. Casey. What Casey? Now I got to look that up. Is he a rookie? I don't know. The name is not ringing a bell. Oh, Casey Schmidt? Yeah, he's a shortstop, right? Yeah, they haven't listed at third base, but Matt Chapman is your third baseman. Yeah, who's your guy's shortstop? Oh, Willie Adames? I think it's Willie Adames. Yeah, because they signed him last year from Milwaukee. All right, let me go back to the comments here. Val B, 4-0, huh? Just watching the scores, some highlights, watching the game. Thank you, Val. I appreciate that. I really do. You guys, I tell you, man, you guys are the best. All right, so now let me lead to my next comment because I think, I've caught up on all the comments here. All right, you ready for this? Here I am talking about live streams and interrupting algorithms and things of that nature, but I'm going to say the hell with it because I'm just going to do it. It's the month of March. It's a challenge. We all need a challenge in life, right? Well, you can say starting today because this is my first live stream. 31 days of live stream. I'm going to at least put a live stream out. Now, I don't know. On those days, more so Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that is going to be random. I'm just going to pop up, whether it's for 15 minutes, half hour, whatever. I'm going to do at least one. And on the other days, obviously, between the podcast pre-games, the live podcasts, the live streams, I mean, that's an automatic, but it's those other days. So that is my challenge for this month, that I want to do 31 live streams. And again, so come this Tuesday, it could be at 4 o'clock p.m., it could be at 10 a.m., it could be at 8 p.m. You're just going to have to kind of find me. Or maybe depending on where I'm at, let's say if it's on a weekend, if I know I'm going to be somewhere and if it's warm, or maybe, hey, I want to be in Central Park, so tomorrow, 3 o'clock, whatever, then I'll tell you. And if you watch, you watch. I mean, I don't expect you, hey, you guys better be there. No, if I'm coming on random, I'm not expecting you. Like, if I don't see you guys, I'm not going to be disappointed. obviously I'll have it on the channel. But yeah, this is going to be random. So whether it is something sports related or something that's not, yeah, I'm just going to come on, share some thoughts, sports, the channel, podcast, maybe something live. Maybe I'll be on a run. Who knows? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Why is this here? Keep that in mind for the month of March. So obviously, yeah, today, tomorrow, I'm going to be on at 9:30 sharp tomorrow. So yeah, no 9:45, 9:40-ish. 9:30 a.m. for the podcast pregame. And the actual live podcast is going to be a little bit earlier, which I'll talk about. And you're probably going to say, earlier than 9:30? Earlier than the normal time. But I will get to that. But yeah, I figured, hey, let me do something a little bit different. It's the month of March. To me, this is a day of, or day, it's the beginning, the first day of the month is almost like a renaissance for me, because I know that my birthday's coming up at the end of the month. There are things that I want to set in place for me personally and for everything that I've shared with you today when it comes to the podcast, the channel, etc. And really put myself in a position to just get ultra locked in. And not even just for this month. I want this to go moving forward as well after this month. Not the live stream. I'm just using the live stream for this month, but just other things that are going on with me personally, with everything that's going on with the channel, etc. And we have to do that. I think it's important to put those challenges out there to show that, for me, not just to prove to myself, but to show that, hey, I'm putting myself out there to make myself accountable. That I'm just not saying this, hey, 31 days, and then it's like day 7, oh, I don't see him here, or day 20, oh, he hasn't come on, I don't see what's called a live stream. And I know I got to detail them. That's another bad job on my part, because I'll record them and then I don't go back to them with a thumbnail, etc. And even if I don't do a thumbnail, I got to put a title on whatever I talked about that day. So if it's a thing where it's March 17th, which happens to be the day of the World Baseball Classic, the final, and I may talk that day, it could be about the World Baseball Classic. So I'll talk about, who's going to win the World Baseball Classic tonight? So that'll be the title. Or, wow, March Madness, did you see that final play? Like, if I'm outside, it's 4 o'clock. And the early games, a couple of the early games were buzzer beaters or upsets, things of that nature. And like I said, it may not just be predominantly sports. Not to say I'm going to be all over the map, but you get it. Even if I chime in for 10 minutes, yeah, here I am. I'm at I'm at a cafe, whatever. And who knows? I'm also thinking about, that's a Thursday, right? Oh, that's going to be tough, though. Yeah, because last year, the opening day for the Mets last year was on a Friday, so I was able to go out there. But Thursdays are tough because I have the podcast, and the game is at 1 o'clock. So, yeah, I mean, unless I record the podcast the night before, that wouldn't be a live podcast then. But my point is that I would love to be outside Citi Field and do a live stream and talk to people, do something like that. Who knows? Maybe I'll go outside Yankee Stadium because they don't play until the following week, which that, of course, will be into April. But I also think they start their season on a Thursday too, do they not? Yeah, because they usually play Thursday because just in case if it's a bad weather day, then they'll play the next day, Yankee schedule. And they play the Marlins too to start the year, which I'm sure they're going to get payback on them. They had if you recall, the Marlins swept the Yankees last year. And that first game was a wild game too, if you recall that. I couldn't believe that series. All right, opening day for the Yanks. We all know they play in San Francisco against Val's Giants Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Have a day off Thursday. And then they have a day off Sunday to go to Seattle. And then after that, they come home to play the Yankees. That would be, no, actually Friday. That's interesting. Oh, I know why. Because they play Seattle an afternoon game Wednesday, so they're going to give them the day off and then a home opener Friday. Well, you know what? There you go. I'll be there for that. Now it's April, but I'll do a live stream there. I'll bring the phone, stand outside Yankee Stadium. Maybe I'll laugh at some of the jokers that are out there. Have some fun. Geez, Yankees have a long homestand. Oh, they play the Rays in between. So it's Marlins, day off, then the Athletics for 3, go to Tampa for 3, and then they play the Angels for 4, Royals. Now that I got J-Rod on here, let's see when the Tigers come to town. Month of May. No, they're not coming in May. Let's see, June. All right, there you go. June 22nd, 23rd, 24th, Yankees in Detroit. And then the following week, the 29th, 30th, and July 1st, the Tigers are at Yankee Stadium. Then the Yankees have a day off, and then they play the Twins for 4th of July weekend. Let's see when the Mets play the Tigers. I know the Tigers actually play at Citi Field. Mets schedule. I remember when the Tigers came to Citi Field 2 years ago, they played them in the second series of the year in April because they started March in the second series April where, the Mets started off 0-5. They got swept by the Brewers, and they lost the first 2 games to the Tigers, and they were actually trailing in the 9th inning, if I'm not mistaken, 1-0 in the final game, but then they came back, tied the game, and won in extra innings. And they finally snapped their losing streak to start the year. And I bet you if I look in the room now, Rhoda, Tatsuya, is posting that the Mets play the Tigers in whatever month that is. Fuqua Johnson. All right, they don't play in April. I know Bio last week talking about the Mets play the Dodgers. Yeah, Mets have a weird schedule to start the year. They are at home against the Pirates, so that means Mr. Skeens. The first 3 games. Then they go on the road, so they don't have a homestand of 6 games, which is usually the case. Then they go on the road at hold on a second. Did I miss that? Yeah, they play in St. Louis. Then they play at San Francisco. So look at that, Val. After you play the Mets and Yankees in the first 10 games of the season. And that Met Giants series is 4 games. Then they come on to play Arizona and the Athletics. Then they go to the West Coast, play the Dodgers, then play the Cubs. Then have a 9-game homestand where they play the Twins, Rockies, and then Nationals. So they play their first division series in late April. And then after that, because they had that 9-game homestand, then they go on a 9-game road trip to Anaheim, then Colorado, and Arizona. That is a weird. Oh, here it is. Oh, look at that. And they play back-to-back. May 12th, 13th, and 14th, Tigers at Mets, and then follow that up, Yankees at Mets. Ugh. And the Mets go to Miami. What is that? May 22nd to 24th. I like to go to Miami. Remember, I went to that game. It was a couple of years ago. I put that's on my channel. So there's your Mets schedule. All right, let me get your comments. All right, so there's your 31 days of live stream, as you know. And I'll talk more about the podcast in a moment. All right, let's see. Yeah, Casey Schmidt. Frank, talking sports. Well, I'm doing a celebration of my podcast. 8 years today when I started it. Sports podcast, of course. Right here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, I appreciate if you do so. If you like sports, love sports, got to have it, can't get enough of it. Casual sports fan, die hard, anywhere in between. This is the channel for you, I promise. And thank you, Fishing Angel, for that follow-up. Let me see. Scrolling back up. Yes. Love that. Thank you, Fishing Angel. Oh, is that right? Angel Manjapane. And he had a real big year for Calgary a few years ago. Yeah, they said goodbye. Ugh. Ah, thank you, Fishing Angel. Yes. Still got 30 more days to go, but slowly but surely we'll get there. But thank you. Casinos in Flushing, horrible idea because they pull in desperate folks and spike crime, drugs, prostitution. Am I right? Now, this one is a little bit more closer to home, guys, so just bear with me on this because he's talking about the casinos in Flushing, which would be right next to Citi Field where the Mets play. And in fact, I drove by the site of Citi Field and that new MLS soccer stadium, which I don't know, maybe they're about 40% done. I couldn't even tell you, but the area right near there, they want to open up a Hard Rock and all that. Is it a horrible idea? I mean, it's horrible for the people that live there because on the other side of the parkway, there are nothing but residences. So parking, traffic. I know you mentioned spiking crime, drugs, prostitution. Could that happen? I guess it could. People in casinos, hey, trying to hustle and do things. You may be right, but you don't live near there, though. Right, Fuqua? As you know, I live in the Bronx, so that isn't going to affect me. And if I'm going to a Met game in 2040, God willing, knock on wood, and yeah, the Hard Rock's across the street, and they got all these restaurants and bars, and I mean, all I do is shrug my shoulders. Yeah, that one, San Francisco Giants. Oh, no, that's all right, Val. Yes, it is soon. It's the end of the month, the 31st. Yes. Okay. Steph Curry birthday, March 14th. Chapman the 26th. His number. All right, good. I want the recipe for this yummy drink. Oh, my God. I got everything in here. Fishing Angel. All right. Where do I begin? I put soy milk. It has a lot of protein because I didn't put protein powder in that. I put a banana, mango, pineapple, papaya. It's more tropical. I know you see the green because I put kale in it. You can put spinach too, and you don't really taste it. Kale is a lot more distinctive than spinach, but I put kale just for more vitamins. But I also put flax seeds, chia seeds, and hemp seeds, and 2 dates, as well as filtered water. Is that too much for you? I know it's a lot. And the only reason why I did this is because I hadn't eaten this morning. So I figured I'd drink this. This is like, in essence, 2 meals. This is probably, I don't know, if I had to take a guess. How many calories? And don't let the sugar fool you. People say, oh, that's sugar. It's a myth. I know I'm not a professional. I know I'm not a dietitian or nutritionist, but it's natural sugar. It's not table sugar. It's not refined sugar. It's glucose that's good for the brain. So, but yeah, you could cut that. You could use whatever milk you want. I like the taste of soy milk. That's just me. But yeah, soy. You could use banana, pineapple, mango, kale, milk. You want to throw the seeds in there. The seeds are there for omega-3s, healthy omega-3s. I understand you get it from salmon, etc. But yeah, that's it. I shouldn't say that's it. It's a lot, but Hole and Dance Sock. What is happening? Tomorrow I have a dermatologist appointment afternoon. All my appointments is Monterey. How far is Monterey from Pacific Grove? What's going on in Hole and Dance Sock? What is happening? That's how I jog around the city still? What do you mean? How I jog around the city? I wish I was jogging now. Although I need to. Probably after this, I'll digest that a little bit, maybe see what's happening in sports. I'm going to catch up on that too. What's happening in that Knick game. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I still do jog around. Now, I haven't jogged in Manhattan since that day, but yeah, I jog through my neighborhood. Sometimes I'll drive to this park that's about 2 miles from me, and I'll go through the park. They have a bunch of trails and stuff back there. Oh, I love it. So, yes. Oh, you're welcome, Fishing Angel. Thank you, as always. All right, let's see what's happening in sports. What's happening in this Knick game? Oh, Knicks are up by 11 with 1:35 to go. Let's see what Wemby's doing. 21 points, 11 rebounds. Hmm. Everybody else not doing anything. De'Aaron Fox, Keldon Johnson, Dylan Harper. Mikal Bridges always having a big game. 21 points for him. 8 of 11 from the field. 8 for 12 is just missed. All right, so that's what's happening at the basketball. Val's caught us up on the hockey with Vegas and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, yeah, people. So that's that's what's happening. Let me get to my one last thing. Do I have another comment here? Oh yeah, well, obviously this. And I know I've been thanking you, so I won't thank you any more than I already have as we celebrate another year of the podcast, 1 year of the live stream. And again, you know how much I appreciate you all. I thank you for stopping by, taking the time out of your day to celebrate with me, really with us. So I thank you. And then obviously I leave it out open forum, which has pretty much been that, but I figured as in closing, because I don't want to continue to babble on. I know we're going in, almost at 2 hours. Yeah, I want this to be natural, organic. I don't want to listen. I understand people have plans. I'm mindful of people's time. And it's not as if I came out and said, all right, guys, this is going to be a 6-hour live stream where I know you're going to come in and out, or you can come in and out. But yeah, I know, for instance, with you, J-Rod and Fishing Angel, it's what, 55, 60 out in your neck of the woods. And it's what, 81 degrees. So I'm sure the last thing I want to do is hear me babble. I don't want to go out and enjoy the weather, enjoy the day. But I appreciate you guys as always. But yeah, since I didn't really have a time limit, just like last year, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on 5 hours. Yeah. Whatever other comments you guys want to say, I'll start to land this plane, as the pilot likes to say. All right, we're about 20 minutes from our destination, so we're going to put on a seatbelt sign, fasten your seatbelts as we start our descend into whatever airport. So, yeah, this will be a last chance to get at me. Obviously, tomorrow, and maybe I could start doing that. Tomorrow, boom, 9:30 a.m. right here, not through any link, through the actual phone itself. And the funny thing is, there's not really a lot to talk about. I know Brent and I, we've gone back and forth with the whole dead zone deal. But, I mean, one of the reasons why I haven't posted in the last couple of days is nothing to talk about. Seriously, what am I going to talk about? I'm not going to be the Stephen A. / First Take and Bio, my apologies, coming on the next day to be like, oh, should LeBron have taken the last shot, or should Luka have taken the last shot in the game? Oh, that game was on Tuesday, I think it was, right? That game Tuesday night against Orlando, I believe. Oh, come on. No, I want something to talk about that's substantial. And yeah, maybe something that's going to be a little thought-provoking, like I posted this morning about right now, Duke, Michigan, and Arizona are your 3 1 seeds. Who's that 4th 1 seed? Right now, I think, especially if they win the Big 12, I think it's Iowa State. I think Houston has fallen back a little bit, considering the 3 losses. Now, if they get hot and they win, they'll be the 4 seed. Oh, not the 4. Well, they'll be the 4th number 1 seed. But I think right now it's Iowa State. Unless they hiccup here and implode, I think it's going to be them. So, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to pose the question, and then, yeah, I just don't want to be on here. Oh, my God, should Luka, why did he pass up on the last shot? To me, that's just lazy sports talk, I think. And I'm sure I've come up with a couple of topics that have been out of whack, off kilter, whatever. But, yeah, you know me. I try to remain true to what it is that I do and not get wrapped up in the clickbait. As a matter of fact, can I shout out somebody? Maybe I shouldn't give them the satisfaction. Wait, let me just... I may not call them by name. Yeah, because then I'm giving them the time of day. Hold on a second. Where's he at? No, he's got, listen, the guy, he's got a following. I got to give it up. So, and by any means, this isn't hating. But here's an example of people who just put out stuff for the sake of putting it out. And I just laughed and I had to clap back on his comment. You know what? What the hell? I'm going to show it to you. Where is it? Where did I find this on? Was it on his Instagram? Hold on a second. Let me pull this up first. And then I want to get your thoughts. And he has a big following. So I'm not hating you. I mean, I don't hate on anybody. And I don't follow him. I just saw he was on my Instagram. You know, sometimes you get those reels and they keep popping up. And I got some sports one, but this one I laughed. And I don't know how many people have watched this. 22,000 people liked it. Oh, it's a joke. All right, you ready? I'm going to share this. Hold on. Let's get a good laugh in. And who knows? You may like it for all I know. And if you do, great. And one more time. I'm not hating on anybody who creates anything. I'm not. But this is just the example of wanting to do what I do. And I know what's going to work for me. And I get it. He's doing it. And that's working for him. He's got over 200,000 followers on Instagram. But if you read some of the comments, you just laugh out loud. And maybe I will even do that just for grins and giggles. But here we go. Ready? All right. I'm going to have to rewind this. Hold on a second. Oh, wait. First, I got to take that off mute. Hang on.
Let me set the scene.
All right. So this I saw because I saw the guy with the Met hat, and he puts this thing, if you can see right here. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. But wait, how come I don't see myself? Hold on. Oh, wait. Let's change that. All right, now. Let's go to... Where the hell is it? I'm trying to find it. Here we go. All right, right here, because I see this guy with a Met hat on. You can see this. And it said, this man has just broken baseball. I'm like, what? So I had to click on it. Oh, as I'm scrolling through it, I didn't click on it. It's a lie. When I was scrolling through the reels and I saw this come up, and I'm like, wait a second. So check this out.
This psychopath may have just changed the game of baseball forever. This is Mets relief pitcher Ryan Lambert. And the reason bro is here is one of the craziest stories you've ever heard. And by the way, if you like elite sports content like this, make sure to follow. Now let me set the scene for you, because just 2 years ago, bro was cut from his college team. But instead of giving up, the man decided to go to extreme lengths to try and make it. How extreme, you ask? Well, he needed a way to give himself an advantage over his peers. And because bro's not a cheater, he's not going to take steroids. He's going to do what all of us in America would do. He's going to go online and try and find a self-help video. And he did. Finding a video that cited the benefits of eating raw eggs and how they can help you gain muscle and recover quicker. And stay with me here, because this is where it gets crazy. Because after watching that video, this man decided that one raw egg wasn't enough. He was going to chug 30 raw eggs every single day for 1 month straight. But guess what? Here's the craziest part. It actually worked. Chugging almost 1,000 raw eggs in a single month helped this man get his fastball velocity all the way up to 100 miles an hour. And because of that, he not only impressed enough to get back on a college roster, he was soon after drafted by the New York Mets. But wait, I'm not done, because it gets even better. After being one of the top relief pitchers in the minors last season, so far in spring training, this man's been putting on an absolute clinic, to the point where some are already touting him as the Mets' future closer. Now, even though he's not doing 30 eggs a day anymore, he says it's more like 10 now. If this man really does end up becoming an elite closer, then we're about to have a major egg shortage in America.
Oh, hang on. And watching that again just triggers me to no end. For elite sports content, let's pump the brakes. Because by any means, and understand, I'm a hard marker. I'm a hard stickler. He's a young kid. Give it up. He's doing what he's doing. People are subscribing, whatever. But really? First of all, that's not elite. Let's go there. Number two, can the guy make the team first? Can the guy make the team? I don't care if he throws 400 miles an hour. And I don't care if he eats 8,000 eggs. If the guy doesn't make it out of spring training as a member of the 26-man roster known as the New York Mets, to me, that content is trash. I don't care if 8 zillion people watch that, but I get it. Well, how many times do I tell you the clickbait, rage bait world? And I understand that's going to me, it's a little bit of both. It's clickbaity because it's like, oh, this guy just broke the whatever. And then it's rage bait because it just infuriates someone like myself. But it's funny because I posted a comment and I said, Elite Sports content, just like I told you guys, number one. Number two, can this guy make the Major League team first? Despite all these numbers you brought up and all this, oh, now he throws 100 miles an hour. Oh, now he can make the team. Oh, nah. He's the best pitching prospect, so on and so forth. So that's 2 strikes. And then the last thing, which just, I mean, because I get it. That is his MO. That's what he's going to do. Fine. Have at it. But what infuriates me is that he doesn't do any history. This is where I come in. Because he talks about how this kid, oh, what a prospect, look what he's done, blah, blah. So in my comments, I wrote, yeah, I should have said, hey, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. That would have been a wink, wink, ha, ha, nudge, nudge. But I would have told him, hey, do you know the name Henry Owens? He wouldn't know who Henry Owens is if he fell on him. Henry Owens was a prospect that the Mets, I believe, got in a trade with the Florida Marlins. And during spring training, he had numbers that were off the charts. No, that's a lie. In the minors, he had numbers that were off the charts. Let's say, I forgot exactly what those numbers were, but I'm just going to, for this example. In 25 innings, this guy struck out like 55 guys, walked 3. His ERA was 0.5, had impeccable control, had wicked stuff, blah, blah, blah. He made it to, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull his numbers up. I'm sure he's probably on Baseball Reference. Yeah, everybody went nuts over this guy. Henry Owens, always the next this, he's the next that, blah, 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 this, so on and so forth, whatever. And it's funny, I see Henry Owens is a left-hand. He was a right-handed pitcher. This man was nowhere to be seen. He came up, had a cup of coffee with the Mets, but did nothing as a reliever. So I just hate it. Here it is, 15-16. No, that's not him. Wait. Henry Owens. 06-07. I clicked on the wrong one. And look, he's got a Marlin hat on because I told you he got traded from the Marlins. Come on, man. Can't mess with me. Let me share my screen. So here it was where he puts out this content. And then the first person I thought of while I'm watching this was Henry Owens. Because this guy had killer numbers. I don't know if they're going to have his minor league numbers. I don't know if you can see this. All right, but he was with the Mets, and he ended up with Florida. Oh, wait, was it vice versa? I thought they got him in a trade that he got back to Florida. This man pitched for the Mets, 3 games, 4 innings, 4 runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. I need his minor league numbers. And then, look, he pitched for the Marlins the following year. 2-0, 1.96 ERA, 22 games, 19 hits, 10 walks, walked the ballpark. I need his minor league numbers. Can I get that? Yeah, this is Baseball Reference. But yeah, he had numbers that, I mean, they were beyond off the charts. And everybody raved about this guy. Let me see. Hold on. Henry Owens, minor league numbers. I'll say 2005, I guess. Yeah. 05-06. Look at this. Hey, look at that. That's an awful whip, by the way. That's beyond awful. Let's see. The minor leagues. Right-handed pitcher for the Mets. Well, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, here it is right here. Thank you. 06. He was promoted to Double-A Binghamton Mets, where he acted as a closer. Now, this is Double-A, but still, 51 strikeouts, allowing 8 hits in 25 innings pitched. I don't know how many walks. I think his walks were low, even though in the major leagues they were high. Oh, this could be it right here. Hold on. Minor leagues. Oh, fantastic. Here we go. Binghamton Mets. I don't know if you guys could see this. Get this out of here. Thank you. Can I slide this over? All right. Right here. 1.5 ERA, 36 games. Oh, 37 games. Excuse me. I can't read. I need my glasses. 40 innings pitched. 74 strikeouts. Now, mind you, I guess at the time they said 25 innings pitched, but maybe he went back down to the minors. But look at these numbers. 40 innings pitched, 19 hits. That's less than half an hit per inning. Where was walks? 10 walks. So his whip was sick, 07, which is, I mean, that's beyond off the charts. And he struck out 74 in 40 innings. Now I'll stop sharing. So this kid wants to bring out this guy who, Ryan, whatever his name is, Lambert, who sucks down 80 eggs or 300 eggs in a month or not, almost 1,000 eggs in a month. Can this guy make the major leagues first? I can see it was a thing where he's done that, made the team, and now it's the All-Star break. He's one of the top closers. Oh, guess what? This guy attributes his success to that. Then you got something. Then you can be like, oh, okay, a little weird. Yeah, it's still like clickbaity, whatever, but okay. Damn. And as a matter of fact, let's look him up now. Yeah, Major League Baseball explains eating 30 raw eggs, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And again, I understand with the clickbait, oh, we got to have the information right now. We got to see what he's doing. It's garbage. Nobody cares. Yeah, he must have played late in the year. I don't remember this guy. No, this was, I'm bugging out. This is spring training. Yeah, he's pitched in one game so far. He gave up a hit and struck out 3. All right. Fantastic. Good for him. But yeah, I just that this is what I'm talking about. This is what I've been saying forever. Not to say that what that guy's doing or anybody else for that matter, kudos. And I'm not I believe me when I say this. I understand people say, yeah, you say you're not hating or you say you're not. That's what works for you. Great. And I'm sure if I went that route, I'd probably have that too. And it was so funny because in those comments, some people say, why is this guy yelling? And I can't say anything because I yell when I talk. So I zip it. But it's just like so, I just have ick when I watch stuff like that. Because it's just not credible. It's not credible. Is it true? It's true, but it's like, let the guy win the job first. Can we do that? And I just bring up Henry Owens because that was the example. And I don't know how old this kid is. He's probably 25. He wouldn't know who Henry Owens is if he fell on him. Or even heard of Henry Owens. Maybe he does. I can't knock him. Maybe he's a big enough sports fan to know who Henry Owens is. He could be a Met fan for all I know, considering he's highlighting a Met. But come on. Stop. Stop. All right. Let's see what you guys had to say. Yes, last one was thanks, sound amazing. That was, of course, the great Fishing Angel. Yup. Oh, Fishing Angel. No, you're awesome too. Thank you. Oh, yes, I will. Yes, and you want to ask the time. Bingo. Live podcast tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. So I'm going to do the podcast pregame from 9:30 to about 10:20. Maybe even 10:25, maybe right up until it, because I'm going to have everything set up. I'm not touching it, thankfully. You know, I have the apartment to myself until tomorrow night. So, yeah, everything is going to stay right here as it is. So, half hour and then half hour. From 9:30 to about 10:20, no later than 10:25, so I can give myself a couple of minutes to regroup. And then 10:30, boom, up until whatever. And it's not going to be a lot to discuss. I got news for you. I mean, of course, there are things to talk about. But, yeah, it's not like you got a boatload of stuff. Scouting combine, I know that guy ran a 4.25. Okay. To me, that's not anything noteworthy. Yeah, whatever is happening, NBA, NHL. I know the first weekend since the Olympics. Baseball's quiet. I'm not talking about Ryan Lambert and his 30 eggs a day. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what we got. But I always have something. Like, subscribe, JAYREELZ. Get you. Yes, please. Oh, man. If I get to 1 million, forget it. That would be something. That would be something. From your lips to the YouTube / podcast / live stream / gods. In the movie, The Neverending Story, the dad's breakfast were raw eggs and orange juice. Blended raw eggs and orange juice. Yeah, Neverending Story. That came out, 1984, I believe, right? Fuqua? Yeah, I listen. I just content like that. I don't know. J-Rod, I see your response. Monterey is not too far from Pacific Grove, California. Not sure distance wise. I think, yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. I understand he's a young kid, and they're gonna do that. Now, if it was a guy my age doing that, I'd really be pissed off. I'd be like, bro, like, what are you doing? Seriously? But again, that's his lane. That's what he wants to do. They're just about getting subscribers. They do whatever. All right. Do you? Kudos. But because to me, as you know, I'm trying to blaze a path here, a trail. I'm not trying to be just a YouTuber, if you want to call me that or whatever. I just don't want to be that. I want to be able to still use this as my platform, even if, God willing, things do become big. That, hey, I don't know. Yeah, I'm working with Fox Sports. I'm working with whatever. I still want to do this. That's it. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I can hit the lotto tomorrow, 100 million. I'm not going to say, peace, guys, I'm out. No. If anything, if I hit the lotto, I'm building a studio. I'll have money to put out for advertising. Whatever it is, that's going to go next level. And then I'm really going to be hurt at that point. So, yeah. You think by me putting out this clickbait garbage that, yeah, when it comes time to, let's say, putting out something credible, people are, oh, yeah, this is the guy that talked about the raw eggs. No. I want to say, oh, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. Oh, this guy interacts with people. This guy is doing it the right way. That's what it's about. Yeah. Ugh. I think I'd rather run 13 miles without a drop of water than to drink 12 raw eggs all at once. You'll probably see me barf, and that would not make for good. Oh, maybe it will make for some good live TV. Good live, JAYREELZ. Val, thank you. Humbly, thank you. All right, I can make a channel. My wife. Oh, just my wife's. Right. Exactly. But wait a second. When you say I can make a channel of just my wife, oh, wife's butt. All right. I thought it was like butt. If there was an extra T there, I would have been like, oh, no, of course. That would be OnlyFans or whatever. No, absolutely. And listen, for those that are out there doing the OnlyFans thing, and, hey, teach his own. And I get it. Some of these people make so much money that even Shannon Sharp got involved. Not to talk about him, but gets involved with one of these OnlyFans girls, and he's a. But hey, I'm not gonna knock the hustle. But again, yeah, I want something that has integrity. That's something that's credible. That's authentic. That's all that. Yes, this isn't a quick fix, quick money subscriber / and yeah, I'm sure that guy, I don't even know. If I had to look to see how many subscribers he had, I know he has 202 on, what is that? I just said Instagram. What's this guy's name? Hang on. And I actually critiqued one of his videos on my channel a while ago. He's talking about, oh, LeBron James, how he could be a New York Knick, and oh, it should happen, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, oh, stop. And I had to critique it. Yeah, he made some sense, I'll be honest, but all right, shot. No, I don't want to hear this. Yeah, there you go. Shot clock show. 21 and a half. That's good. I'm sure he's monetizing, etc. Yeah, he's got 11,000 views, 14,000 views, 1.8, 10,000. No, it's good. And a lot of his stuff is short stuff too, which is a majority of what the work I do too. But right, is this man going to dissect Knick history? So let's say if the Knicks don't go to a final this year, as all the anticipation and all the expectations this year, can he break down and say, oh, yeah, I remember the 94 team, or if you want to go back to the 70s, this and that? You can't do that. Maybe he could. I should have not because I don't know. But is it going to be credible? Is it going to be filled with truths, whatever, and not just silliness? Yeah, and I'm not trying to pick on the kid, but again, come on, man. You got to get called out on that. Sorry. No, I see you, Jay. Hang on. Why can't I click on this? Butt. My bad. 2 butts. Yeah, because I do you say I like my wife's butt, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't realize it was B-U-T-T. No, but I get it. 100%. Doc's appointment. Oh, that's all right. Hey, it's all right, J-Rod. In fact, how is your health? I know I haven't asked you that. And how's everything going with that? Please. I hope everything's well. I hope everything's been smooth, etc. Not missing out whatsoever. Oh, Fishing Angel, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are correct. I don't care. But you going on about it for 10 minutes makes me think you do. Yeah, I know, right? You know what that is? It's just a passion. It's just that. But you're right. Because the more I talk about it, whatever, it's like, oh, yeah, he's got whatever. And how does that make me look? It makes me look like I'm, But no, you're right. So that's it. That's what happens. I know I can babble and go along here. No way in hell. Yeah, with the... Absolutely. I hear you, Fishing Angel. I wouldn't do it too. Even if that meant you were going to get a big payday and a bunch of creepy pervs, I was saying I can make a channel of her in yoga pants and booty shorts and whatnot. Oh, absolutely. Without question. 1,000%. The problem with our world nowadays, sex sells. I know, it's been like that forever. I mean, no, exactly. And listen, I get that the people that use it as their tool, whether it's OnlyFans or, whatever else, adult films, all right, that's what they do. That's their moneymaker. But if you're just going to do it just to do it, to be gratuitous, and I know that there's been, my wife, not to unpack this. No, I won't unpack it, but my wife has shown me guys, the content creators that are like chefs, and one guy, like everything is just like so sexual. So if like he's kneading dough, like the way he does it, or like he takes the knife and he licks it. It's like, what the God, seriously? I mean, what are we doing? And I get it. That's what get clicks, but it's just like, come on. Can you just like make something? All right, creative editing, storytelling, whatever, and then that's it. I mean, not that I would even attempt to do this because it scare people away, but that's like me doing a show like without a shirt on. Like, hey guys, come on, like, what are we doing? No. Our world needs to make more appropriate content, not raunchy content. Right, yeah, no. But it's sad because it's the world we live in, especially with the way the internet is, with the way social media is, TikTok, all that, the girls in bikinis or the guys, lifting weights, bro culture, like, oh yeah, this is the way it's got to be. Like, stop. Ugh. What's this, Jay? I'm not saying that's even an option because there's no chance in hell. Oh, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. 100%. Yeah. So, it doesn't matter. I don't care if, it could be my feet. I could just have a camera. People with foot fetishes out there, and they'll just see me like tap my toes on screen or whatever, not on the screen of the lens, but on the floor. And obviously I can't do my voice. I'd have to, but let's say I'm just there like, hey guys, what's up? It's a Sunday, and I'm just out here, and look, my toes are happy, blah, blah. And there's people get off on that, which is, all right. Teach his own, not hating or judging. But right. Who knows? If I did that, and next thing you know, you'd be like, guys, you won't believe it. I'm starting to build my studio for my podcast because I've done OnlyFans for the last 6 months and I've generated $500,000. I mean, could you imagine? And listen, right, I understand it sounds tempting, but it's like, come on. That's not me. Like, am I really going to do that? Come on. But, you can't knock anybody's hustle for doing it. You could critique it, especially if it's not any good. That's the thing. So, but whatever. I know I kept babbling about that. So, Jay, I appreciate you and listen to me babble and everybody else that's on it for me babbling about, this guy with the eggs and all that. So let's see. So tomorrow again, 9:30, podcast, 10:30, as we catch up on everything that's happening in sports. And speaking of which, is the Knicks game over? Oh, Knicks going to win. They're up by 17, fourth quarter, 4:42 to go. Oh, excuse me. That's it there. Yeah, now that shaker's repeating on me now. Connor Griffin, it's his third home run of the spring. Did you see this kid, Connor Griffin, on the Pirates? He had 2 home runs against the Red Sox the other day, and I saw a post where he was at the end of a game, and it looked like he had his equipment bag, and it was outside of the dugout where he was signing autographs, and somebody had posted, like, this guy's been out here signing every autograph for the past half hour, and he's a rookie. Kudos. That's awesome, man. And that's why people are there to see him. Now, I understand baseball players is tough because then they have to have tunnel vision. They can't sign every autograph, especially if they get big. And this kid, Connor Griffin's supposed to be a stud. He's the number 1 prospect in baseball, and he's already hit 3 home runs. And good for the Pirates. I hope it's a situation where he makes the team. He has a big year, maybe wins Rookie of the Year, and hey, have a big year. Sad part is that if he is Rookie of the Year and he could be a possible MVP candidate in years to come to go along with Paul Skeens, they're not going to be able to keep those guys. Which obviously baseball's problem. We've talked about it a million times. CBA December 1st. But to see that and read that story, I was like, wow, that's cool. Kid's humble. He's like signing all these kids' autographs. And you got to like that. Because we all know guys, they'll sign 2 or 3. I got to go. And I get it, They can't sign everybody's. But when you see that, that's fantastic. Kevin Gibbons, saw this on X. Niners, that's your team. Oh, thank you, Fishing Angel, as always. Yes. I know. With that being said, look, 3-1 Giants losing there. Oh, no, they're winning. 3-1 Padres. Okay. Scores on the internet. Thank you, Val, for all the updates. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Yeah, and I think this may be about time to start landing this sucker. And it goes without saying how much I appreciate you all for the 9 millionth time. So I'll shut up. I won't say anymore. But you know what? Tomorrow, another day, another month, new week, new everything. I just hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're kicking back, laying back, getting ready for a work week, all that good stuff. I'm going to, as always, come correct, direct, and full effect on everything that's going on with sports. I'll be monitoring what's happening the rest of the day. Maybe I'll throw another short later on tonight if there's anything that's good that's going on. But 8 years and counting. And 1 year with the live stream and the channel, the growth, slowly but surely getting it. A little engine that could, as I like to say. But that will do it. Another live stream just about in the books. As always, as I've said a zillion times, I won't say it again. But tomorrow, 9:30 and 10:30, back-to-back bottom of the hours with the pregame and the live podcast. And, looking forward to another week of sports as we get closer to March Madness, as we get closer to the baseball season, as we get closer to spring, turning the clocks forward, later days, warmer days. Doesn't get any better than that. And even better yet, more sports talk because we're still in that sports dead zone, although my guy Brent doesn't think that's the case. But, yes, for the most part, we are in that dead zone. So let me see. Yes. J-Rod, thank you. You also have a great day. And when are you going to have me? Yeah, I know. We were supposed to do that for Jay's birthday. But, that's something he and I will have to talk about offline. And, get you guys on. That'd be great. How about that? Let's do that. in maybe the next couple of weeks. Or whenever you guys, on a Wednesday live stream, we'll do that. Absolutely. Love to have you. And I also have to have the wife on too. She has to be home. I have to do a nighttime one. Trust me, that's something that I still got to work on because not that she's camera shy, but we'll have to see. I'll keep you posted on that. But as always, people, I missed that comment, that last one that came through. Yes, you are welcome as always, Fishing Angel. So as I depart from the South Bronx, South Beach, South Central, South Pacific, and all points beyond, peace, love, and God bless. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people. Thank you so much once again. Truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Until tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. Hope to see you all there. Until then, thank you again, and on the flip, baby.